right. Hello. Welcome to the stream. Sorry for the delay. Some technical difficulties as always. We're hoping we managed to fix that now. We changed from Streamlabs OBS to normal OBS. You see the overlay and everything is quite different, right? I hope you like it. I sat and did this a while back. It should be okay, I think. Let's see here. So this is Order of the Trolljeager, new adventure. Welcome everybody.
Thank you.
Awesome.
What's going on?
Cool. So it took us a few weeks, but we managed to get here again, right? Valraven couldn't join us today though. It's his birthday today actually.
Valdhelm. Valraven is right.
Oh yeah. Alpaca, Valdhelm. Names and stuff, right? So this time around, we're going to use a document that I've been sending to my players here. It's a document to help us roleplay our characters a little bit better. Let me put it on the screen right now so you guys can take a look as well. Maybe I can do this. And we choose not that one at all. I prepared this very well, like always. Let's not do that. Okay. God damn it. So it's a document about role-playing our character a little bit. So I'm going to go through all of our players together here, and see what they wrote. So let's start with Greld. Are you finished with your document?
No, I'm not.
So I'll let you finish first. What about Valraven? Are you finished?
I didn't realize we were going to be sharing
Okay,
these.
you guys are too slow. Okay,
Licklick.
Okay, Licklick. Yeah, starts with Licklick then. So what's your conviction? What's Licklick's conviction?
To bring honor to my adopted father and the family name.
All right, fair enough. Really good. What's Licklick's desire?
His greatest desire is to resolve the situation that my dwarven father has with his clan. Right now, my father's excommunicated. That's why Licklig's last name is Dwarvenson. He's adopted to a human that's adopted to a dwarven clan.
Right.
That Dwarvenson clearly is not a dwarf name. So he wants to somehow resolve it. And the problem behind that is I don't know the situation behind the excommunication or the whatever it is, how you want to call it. So
Right.
I'm hoping to address that and role playing with him when I meet him at the thing.
Cool. Awesome.
Because I may have a key to unlock the big. I have a Mithraka key that might help unlock the whole situation, at least get the ball started.
Exactly right. You met some dwarves in your travels, and you got a signet dagger, I guess you could call it, right? With the
Right.
the iron ring sigil on it that kind of represents the position in an iron ring.
Correct.
All right.
The situation that when I was asked about my dwarven language skills and the accent behind it, the accent and the linguistic usage was recognized by the clan that we ran across. They had heard or timelines of my life and another storyline that they're aware of made sense, and so they gave me a very, very important hint that possibly to throw off to my father to maybe this thing's been resolved and he can come back. We don't know yet. My father will know better about what this dagger means, this particular key, as it were.
Because the dwarves that you met, they thought that your father might be their older brother, right? So they just want to make sure or check that to begin with. Cool. What's Licklick's problem? What's his major problem?
I don't know. I don't know what the situation is. You can't fix something if you don't know what it's broke. That's why this dagger, this key, or this clan totem mark might help me open it up. It's nothing more than hopefully a key to open up what the situation is and get it resolved.
Right. Cool. And what are some relationships that Licklig have?
Other than the group here, I've got my adopted dwarven mother, my adopted dwarven father, and not a whole lot more than that. We kind of, even though they were dwarves in the world of humans, so they worked, they did their trade, but they've been kind of a little bit hermit-y in their lifestyle, a little introverted. But other than the group here, not a lot going on.
Right. So maybe you can go through the group a little bit and tell me about your relationships with the different people in the group.
Okay. Yoren, our families, basically with trade and knowledge of different peoples that my father mostly does, is he knew his family. So we've kind of known each other back and forth through a few years, not spent a lot of time together, just meetings that we would run across when we would go to gatherings, or trade auctions and such like that. Vestine, the half troll, I've only known him in game time, maybe 3.5 weeks now, not quite a month. 2 weeks on the farm, and then the journey from here with the farm to where we are now at the thing. Same goes with the other folk. Siggy's character, you're a Vitna Weaver, right? Or do you do both? I don't know. Anyways, had a questionable companion for a while, and that was really freaky weird. The situation's kind of resolved itself as far as that's concerned. And then I did have a conversation, and we actually hammered out some things with a small dwarf who wishes to be a bard someday. I knew that he was a dwarf, and he was acting very undwarven-like. And when it finally came out what his goal was, it at least makes sense. Licklig can't understand it, but at least it makes sense, and then he understands the motivation behind it. It's just the group.
Awesome. Somebody got out of the group and in again, so all the boxes are fucked up a little bit, but that's okay. I will just fix it while we talk. What about Jorin?
What's going on?
Yeah, so tell us about Jorin's conviction.
Though Jorin's feet are firmly placed in the earth of the Stormlands, he's a man of two worlds, and he must hold true to both of them because he's a Difer. He's the half elf.
Right. And so holding truth to both of them, right? So what's your desire then? What's your character's desire?
To be reunited with his mother and sister, who returned to the Elflands for his sister's being presented to the matriarch of their clan, and then to actually visit that homeland.
Right. Have Jorin ever been to the Elven lands of Soy?
No.
Yeah, that would be a big desire then. And what's Jorin's biggest problem?
He is the only son of the males of the Ravenhold clan. So a lot of weight is on his shoulders to prove himself, and he's not sure he's ready to accept that way.
Does Jorin have any plans to go back to Castle Ravenhold anytime soon, or?
No, after the thing and stuff. I mean, his father's more than likely at the thing, and I mean he's got a lot of stuff he's got to do and resolve with the Order of the Trolljeager and everything that he's kind of cemented, trying to step up and be a leader, even though he's, considers himself an equal to everybody around him.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, it's his birthplace. I mean, his father's the oldest son, and he's the only son of everyone. So. Right.
Awesome. And tell us about some of Jorin's relationships so far.
He Licklig was explaining, he knows Licklig from their family. Has met him maybe a handful of times.
Right.
And his father would go out guiding people through the Stormlands, he would, at the same time teaching Yorn what to do, he would have encountered Licklig. I got to switch over here. For the bard, the dwarf, though he ran him over with a cart, he's gained a new understanding of where the dwarf's position is within the party. For Vistine and Yorn, they had a bunch of interactions on the farm. I mean, we were all on the farm for a good amount of time.
Right.
But there's a bunch of interactions there, and Vistine's kind of really has a different perspective of Yorn than anybody else, just based on the stories of elves that Vistine has heard. And then Valraven, he honestly doesn't trust her. She seems to be young and inexperienced, even though they are kind of young and inexperienced. She seems to be just has a lot of power and freely uses it, and isn't too happy about that.
Indeed.
The rogue, when he sees them, he's going to put a foot in his ass to make sure that he does some stuff to benefit the rest of us, and not put himself in danger. I mean, we are all part of the order. We are here for those around us, not just for ourselves.
Right.
So, I mean, whether he's hiding to prepare himself, it's been unknown, but Yorn is trying to take an active role in getting him to go out to realize his full potential, basically.
Right. And that's showing kind of that Jorn is taking on the mantle of the leadership a little bit more, right?
Right. Yeah.
Even
And then
though
there's
he might
this
not
god
be-
that seems to be directing his actions, and he's just like, "Grr."
Right. Cool. What about Vistane? What's your Vistane's conviction?
At the moment, conviction, desire, and problem, he doesn't really have one. Vistane is pretty much a live day by day. Very, I would say, very kind of dependent on his set routine, and he doesn't look very much farther than that. So, conviction, desire, and problem, I am leaving blank at the moment until something comes up in game that's going to make a much more influential, a larger impact on him.
All right, fair enough.
Okay, as far as other characters, I did put down just basically a sentence for each one. Greld, no friend to favor, no enemy or wrong, did a dwarf not repay in full. Joran, spooky messenger of the gods. That is based on, if you'd read the little paragraph I put up, when Joran first arrived at the farm, it was evening and it was foggy. In the tales that Vistane has always heard, that's when the elven messengers of the gods arrived. So out of the fog comes walking Joran. And he asks Vistane for directions to Ukasheath, which Joran gives him. And of course, being a half-elf, he's as close to his elf as Vistane has ever actually really seen. So Vistane's a little freaked out by this. And he blesses Vistane. Being a dim walker, I'm basing it kind of on most religious priests that I know that would, will bless you for your help. And so a lot of this has gotten conflated in Vistane's simple mind. So my little sentence for Joran, spooky messenger of the gods.
Fair enough. Thanks for following Cobalt, by the way. Siki posted the little story that you wrote here, Vistane, which was very nice, by the way. And it says here that Vistane was returning from a successful hunt. So that must have been your one and only time that you succeeded in hunting, huh?
At a 7 skill, they're kind of few and far between, I would figure. But
Right. Fair enough. Cool. So far, I've noticed a very big lack of relationships with NPCs. And that's something that I've been realizing, of course, from my last game with you guys, that I didn't really portray the NPCs very well. And that's something I'm gonna try to change. I'm gonna try to make them a little bit more interesting and make you want to have some relationships with them as well. Just a side note. So what about yeah, we're saying?
I was going to say, my opinion is that NPCs aren't going to have much of a relationship unless you get a recurring NPC and the characters get time to know him.
Mm. Right.
That's a good point.
Right. Definitely.
Like the same reason why we doesn't know each other that much yet, because we have only seen each other for a couple of weeks.
And like Greg was talking about before, and like Brian was saying last week, it would be good to maybe write some short stories like this, how you met each other on the farm, because you did spend 10 or more days together already, and you should know each other better. And that's also something I really didn't put a lot of focus on when we started the first adventure. How did you guys know each other? And that's my fault. I mean, I was completely new as a GM at that point, right? So I just didn't think about it. And now recently I realized that I should have thought more about that, right?
Until Brian mentioned it, I had never heard, and I've been playing for years, I had really never heard that. And I just thought that was...
I think it's a good idea.
Heard what again?
It's a good idea. The idea of each of us making up our... Well, I think yours was that you'd had a background table and you were going to hand out backgrounds to different people around the table, and they would they would come up with a small idea of what happened to the characters. I was just going, well, we don't really have a table, but yeah, I can write a little story of Vestain's interaction with each of them.
Yeah, I used that Viking backgrounds table yesterday for a sci-fi game and just changed the actual situations. A lot of it seemed to organically work with what we'd already conceived of our characters. So, but the whole concept behind that is because there's 6 of us, we roll 6 backgrounds. We keep one and we give one to each other player, and that gives them a joint investment in our character, but also provides a plot point that they can discuss with the GM to bring up later in the game. So like those holes in your character that the GM normally has, the other players will have. So, but let's continue.
Right. So that's very interesting. I never heard of that either before, but the whole thing with getting the background, the common background together a little bit is something that I've been, of course, heard of before. So what about Greld? Are you done up there with your?
I have been looking at it, and there are some things that I wrote down. His conviction is that the truth is out there. You just need to find it, and it comes, because architects.
Okay, Mulder.
Yeah. Well, it's more like that. If you're looking for a story or looking for something to write down, you just need to look around, ask questions. And he wanted to get down what actually happens. He isn't interested in telling a good story.
Right.
Then I wrote down his desire is to actually, well, he's a very young dwarf, and he just came up from the land beneath. So he wants to travel the world and be part of history. He wants to be known for something, or at least part of it.
Right.
I have not been writing down a lot of the relationships yet. So I'm going to do it after today. I think that it's a little bit too little time right now, because I think that I need to think a bit on these before I write down something.
Right.
Right now, he doesn't dislike anyone in the group. he doesn't dislike people on the farm or anything. He's a bit worried that Valraven and Vestine will rip each other's throats out before the Order of the Trolljeager even has begun. So he's very afraid of something going to happen between those two. And I think he sees himself as kind of a diplomat between every person in the Order of the Trolljeager.
Right. All right. Fair enough. And then we have Valraven. What's your conviction?
Okay. Valraven's convictions are spite, vengeance, and tradition.
All right. Fair enough. And what's the desire?
She's kind of a conflicted character. Her desire is kind of to garner some strength and so that she can get revenge on those who have wronged her. She hasn't really thought about what she wants to do in life any further than that. And she has like doubts about her connections to the gods. She feels bound to her people's traditions, but feels that something in her upbringing has kind of warped that.
Right.
As for relationships, she has her relationships with Dagger the Thrice Drowned, who was her kind of her confidant and father figure, who loved her so much he would even come visit her on her little isle of seclusion, even though he had a terrible fear of open water. And as for in the group, she thinks, I'll start with Vestane. She thinks he's a large brute, but simple and strong. And he seems like he'd be a strong ally to have. He's probably the only one she trusts so far, and she's kind of hurt when he calls her a necromancer. Yorin, she wants to kind of impress Yorin and endear herself to him, which either it's because she kind of feels that he's kind of a out of place, displaced, similar kind of situation as her, but also kind of has like a going back to her convictions. She has an ulterior motive, which is he comes from a wealthy clan and probably has a force she could use. Greld, she thinks Greld's a coward. But he's the first dwarf she's known, and so he's probably redeemable.
Right.
And he seems to have some useful skills. Liquid, Val is kind of a superstitious person. She's actually afraid of Liquid. I mean, she knows he's also very superstitious, but it's like in a very different way. And then Waldhelm, she thinks he's a coward and only trusts him as far as he's useful.
Right. Awesome. Cool. So yeah, please take a look at the questions underneath as well and think about them a little bit and try to consider these questions as you're playing. And in the end of that venture, I will ask you these questions again, and we will together go through it, and I will give you points. And you can see in the parentheses there, right, the amount of points you can get. In the Twitch chat, Feyron asked you guys where you all are from. So, Greld, where are you from?
Me as a person?
Yeah.
I'm called Nerny, and I'm from Norrköping, Sweden.
All right. What about Valraven?
I'm Siggy. I'm from New York in the US of A.
All right. And I'm from Sweden as well. What about Jorin?
Brian, I'm originally from New York. I'm currently down in San Antonio, Texas.
Cool. And Vestane?
I am Greg, and I'm in Abilene, Texas. I'm about 150 miles north of Bryan.
All right, cool. And Lycklig?
Michigan, otherwise known as Southern Canada. Raised, traveled a lot, came back. It's still snowing here today, actually.
Really, it's still snowing. Damn.
Yes.
I mean, I'm in Sweden. It's not snowing here anymore.
Yeah, we had a little bit of a flurry. It wasn't much, but it was a flurry.
All right, fair enough. So yeah, as you can see, Fearon, a lot of dirty Americans in this group, but we're happy to have them, so it's okay.
It was fucking snow here today, so
We also have a sixth member, Alpaca, playing Waldhelm, and he's from Norway. So one little Norwegian guy as well. But it's actually not Alpaca's birthday today, so happy birthday, Alpaca. And he couldn't join us, of course, since he has a party and stuff. So, awesome. So let's start. You just managed to come back after a quite eventful adventure, saving Magne Bite's little 10-year-old daughter, Sola. She's a very beautiful little girl with long blonde hair, and everybody agrees that there must be some kind of elven blood in her veins. She was the last child of Magne and his wife. Magne's wife actually died giving birth to her. So she's a very important part of his family. And you saved her, and he is extremely happy, and this evening he will hold a small feast with you guys in your honor. Just a small one, because tomorrow you're all preparing to leave for the thing. So the game starts with us all being in Magne Bite's long house, in his hall, sitting around a big table with benches. Behind Magne, he's sitting kind of on a little bit of a platform. And behind Magne, you see his beautifully crafted sword, his two-handed sword, that he's always carrying around. And you noticed this sword before. And I think Greld or Lycklig read the inscriptions. There are some runes on the sword. And it says across the blade is inscribed in Dwarven Futhark, Dreamer. It says Dreamer on it. And Lycklig, being a bit of a blacksmith, you consider this to be masterfully and beautifully made, this sword. You have never seen such a beautiful sword before, and you would have to spend a lifetime to get the skill to craft something as beautiful as that. And of course, right. Greld also realized that this is a dwarven-made sword, but you don't really know much more about that. And Magne Bite is in a very good mood. His daughter Sola is playing with her two older brothers. They are just maybe 2-3 years older than Sola. There's more brothers as well. They are a total of 12 brothers. But the rest of them, the older ones, all already left for the thing. So the farm is quite empty at this point. You also see the thrall Dirt running around serving. You met him before. But you kind of notice that the thralls are kind of avoiding Magne as much as possible. So you're also kind of sitting around the table talking about your escapades, drinking some mead or beer, eating some really delicious food, and preparing for tomorrow. And as you do this, Magne raises his mug and says, "For my heroes, the saviors of my daughter, I must thank you again. I don't know what I would have done without you. Thank you, and welcome to my hall."
You're very welcome. Without us, you would be mourning your daughter, your very beautiful daughter, Lord Mead.
He already asked you guys to come with him as his temporary Ejd, his personal bodyguards, on the trip to the thing, and you agreed. He now asks you guys, you will be my personal Ejd on this trip, but I need to know who will be your captain. Who will I give orders to? Will that be you, Master Jorin, or Master Vistain, or who
no?
Would that
I
be?
will point to Jorin.
Master Ravenholt. No, not Ravenholt, right? What's your name?
Yeah, it's Ravenhold.
Oh yeah, I'm right. Oh yeah, I remember. Only been a few weeks. Master Ravenholt, is this correct? You would be the captain of the Hird, of my Hird this time.
Yes.
All right, that's great. So we have a clear chain of command. Usually, I don't really need a Hird when I go to the thing, but since we're kind of in a hurry, I think we should go by the old road. He says. And this is something that you guys can we can take a look here. I have my beautiful map, right, that I've been making, and we can actually take a look at that if you want. I have to find it first.
That's on roll 20.
Nope, it's not on Roll20. It's a link. I will give it to you. I think you have seen it before.
World Anvil.
Exactly. I will send it in Zoom to you guys. Here we go. And if anybody wants to join us looking at the map, I will also send it in the Twitch chat so people can join us. So if you look in the middle there, you can find Yuka's Hearth and Barefield Farm, the blue dots in the middle. And just south of there are two roads close to Grim Hills. Let me see if I can actually let the rest of the people see this as well on the stream. Let's see, I will just add windows here. Like always, very well prepared. Window capture, there we go. And let's put this in the bottom of everything. All right. So, right, let's take a look here. Can you see the map, everybody?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, so like I said, in the middle here, we have Barefield Farm, and then south of there we have Ejd and Yuka's Hearth. And there's really two roads to go to the thing. The thing is the grey little pin on the left side, close to the Grim Village. Yeah, well, not very close, but a little bit close.
Close to Bronze Hill.
Right, so the old road goes very close to the Grim Hills, and it passes through Bronze Hill, which is a small village. Not very small, like a medium-sized village, you could say. And the new roads, it's kind of like a little bit of a detour, but the reason why they made a new road is because the old road started getting unsafe. Because there's quite a lot of bandits and stuff in the Grim Hills, and they started moving up and raiding the caravans and stuff along the old road. So a few years back they created a new road, and a new community sprung up called New Haven.
And where's the thing happening?
It's the grey pin.
Okay,
west-
that's very good. The
west
light
there.
gray one? The thing.
Yeah, you
okay.
can hold over it and you can see it says the thing.
Got it.
Okay.
So I'm just thinking, how did you all arrive? How did you get to Yuka's Hearth? So let's start with Greld.
I have probably been in the place they call Grim Village because I came with a boat and I got to Yuka's Hearth with wagon, being really, really seasick. So I was like rolling in a wagon for a couple of days before I got to Yuka's Hearth.
So I would say you probably went by the new road then, because
Yeah.
most people don't take the old road anymore.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And what about Valraven? How did you get there? Valraven is from up here in Forstafjord village, one of the islands north of Yxa. You can see the black dots there.
Yeah, she came by boat from there. She probably did not go through any like big civilized area, and then probably came along the new road.
Right. You passed by Yxa, but you didn't go in there.
Yeah.
And then you came by the new road, right? All right. What about Jorin? How did you get here? Jorin is from down here in the Iron Moors. Your family's castle is Ravenhold Castle here at the big lake.
It's a family secret.
Right.
He traveled well-known trails of his father, Colgrim Ravenhold, who was a Sporuvi. So he pretty much took the road less taken, the paths that he knew as a tracker and ranger.
Right. There is a road called the Grim Road that leads straight from Ravenhold Castle up to Bronze Hill Village. So you probably follow that, and you have your ways to get there that most people don't know about, since this is quite well-traveled part of the land when it comes to your family, right?
Shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. So.
Right, exactly. And what about Vistain? Where did you come from, and how did you get here? You always were here, right?
I was an abandoned child found by Elsa, Carlson's wife, and I have grown up on the farm. I have always been here.
Right, exactly. Have you ever traveled outside of the farm?
The most traveling I have done is with Carlson, because he would have me along. Since I was always big and fairly imposing, he would have me along to help convince the merchants to at least give him a fair deal.
Right. So you've been around a little bit, maybe to Millsborough in the east, even.
Mm-hmm.
Since Yukath Hearth and the House of Beat that you are part of is part of the lands of Wulfgar Suldot, the shield-jarl in the southern city of Saga, the eastern side of the country. So you would probably mostly travel east when you go, just to stay out of Jorn Entlof's lands with the black pins here.
Mm-hmm.
All right. What about Lycklig? Your family lives close to the northern parts of Copperwoods, right?
Yeah, I was going to put us in the Grim Hills, located somewhere, and I would have just taken the newer, more well-traveled road.
Right. Probably either you come from I would say you probably live in the area close to Ravenhold Castle, right? Since you know Jorin's family and everything. So you would probably go a similar route to Jorin, maybe even together. Who knows? So that's awesome. And Alpaca's character Waldhelm came from the wildlands up north, outside of this map. So he came by boat and landed up in, I guess he landed in Yxa, and also took the new road. So you don't, I mean, some of you have some experience with the old road, and it doesn't always have to be very dangerous, but it's definitely a good idea for Magne Bite to have you guys with him as his hird on this trip if you take that road. And he will probably let you guys kind of decide what you want to, which way you want to go in the future. So let's take a look at the feast here. So what are you guys doing at the feast here in the Long Hall? You have food and drink in front of you guys. Grilled
hospitality.
Yeah. What do you want to say?
Is it light enough in the hall to be able to read and write? Because I think that Grilled, because he lost all the notes and everything he wrote down during the last journey.
Right.
So right now he's like opening the new writing package. Thank you, Steve. And he's probably writing something in the Brokish writing language. Like the order of the Trolljeagers, and he start to write down the names of the people and some slots, and really trying to focus on what he's going to write, because he is trying to describe the members of the Trolljeager group.
Right. All right. I mean, it's there's a hearth in the middle of a fireplace in the middle of the room. And if you sit close enough, you should be able to see.
Could I probably take a candle, wax candle or something, and put it on the table next to me?
Yeah, definitely. Sure.
So I'm probably not talking a lot to people, probably being a bit grumpy and can't you see that I'm trying to focus here?
Right. Cool. What about Valdraven? What is Valdraven doing?
Probably brooding.
Brooding. And also you have your dead uncle's corpse with you, right?
Yeah, she's probably gonna excuse herself from the feast a little earlier to spend some time with her uncle.
Reviving him. Again.
All right, so let's go back to that later. What about Jorin? What is Jorin doing?
Jorin is he is taking an assessment of those around him. He's just simply enjoying his drink. He's been eyeballing the guy's daughter a little bit. I'm sure his charms have or the way that his exotic appearance may, he's a Stormlander and elf, so may
quite good looking.
Yeah, and I'm trying to figure out the whole because he's of a different. He is honoring another jarl, right? He's faithful to another jarl,
right?
So yeah, he's gonna look at the guy and raise his mug and say, though we worship or we show devotion to two different kings, we are one people.
Indeed, we are, Jordan, and your family has been close with our family for more than a generation, as long as man has memory. So I'm very happy to have you here. As always, you're welcome.
Your daughter is very beautiful.
They say so, and I could not do other than agree. His daughter is about 10, but of course in this world,
she's 10.
most kids get married maybe 13 or something like that, right? So it's not too far off for her. Still a little bit young.
I mean, if you want to go like in actual history, yeah, it was only really the nobility that got married early.
Right.
And then they still wouldn't actually live with their
right. They would be married, but they wouldn't maybe consummate the marriage.
Until they were actually adults.
Right. What about Vistain? What is Vistain doing?
Well, he will start out just pretty much eating and drinking. Once he notices Greld riding, he will go over and pester Greld about learning to read and write in Futhark.
Right.
If Greld runs him off, he will end up playing with Sola.
Actually, no, because Greld wanted to talk to Vistain, I remember. So if Vistain coming up to Greld, then Greld is going to look up and, Vistain, just the man I was looking for. I got some problems writing down here because we are the Order of the Trolljeager, right?
Yes.
Yes. And I want you to decide if I should write that you're a half-troll or not. Because I don't want to lie, but when it comes to remember a delicate matter, we should probably see what would be more harm and what would be good. What do you think?
I consider myself a man, not a beast.
And you're a man, according to me. So I'm dipping the pencil and I very appreciated that you gave me the feather and the papers, because I would be lost without them.
I have them, and I can use them slowly, but I thought you could put them to better use.
Would you want to write your own name in the list? Because I know that you can do it, so I'm kind of passing on the pencil and let him write his own.
And maybe you guys don't know about it. I mean, Lykklig and Greld definitely knows about it, but in the Dwarven culture, knowing somebody's name they're very superstitious about names.
Yeah.
and they think that knowing somebody's true name has a lot of power.
Yeah. Greld has not put down his own name in the book.
Right. Instead, he wrote Greld, right? Because
Yeah.
your proper name is not Greld.
Exactly.
So Greld is your nickname, you could say, or like your used name.
Yeah. It's like I have been writing down a name and then next of kin and such things, and then putting down some slots so there is more to write about each person.
Right.
So there will be place for him to write down his name when he trusts the group more.
Right. But Vistain doesn't know anything about this.
No.
No. I will actually write my name. It'll take me a minute, but yes, I will write it.
All right.
Next of kin, is that Trolljeager?
Yes,
Oh,
he
thank
is
you.
my father.
Yeah,
Right.
and I think that's it for a moment. I might want to talk to you later.
Great. What about the Licklick? What is Licklick doing during all this?
Although Licklig is very happy that the mission that we went on, everybody was saved, and he's happy that he's on his first step toward bringing honor to the family. This many people makes him feel very uncomfortable. So shortly after the festivities get started and everybody starts having more food, I'm going to slip out because I've made promises to the wilderness. I would like to pop out to the barn. I'm sure that somebody's taking care of the animals. I try and find the barn master. I'll even address him so. Even if he is of a lower caste of people, I'll still call him barn master.
Right.
And then I will help if they have a couple of hands. Help fill up a buckboard full of organic deposits left over from the animals, from the manure pile. Go out to the local tree, a very large one, and I'll address the forest, the spirits of the forest, and say, thank you very much for the help that you did. I hope this small payment will be accepted duly. And then just make a circle all the way around the big tree with all manure that we've got, and then pay my homage for thanking them for helping us, because the water was clean, the game was plentiful, and we all came back alive. Those who left alive came back alive. And then when that's done, I figure by then the festivities will either be people will be passed out on the tables or looking for a bed to sleep in.
Right. So is this a belief that comes from your adoptive parents, or is this something that you made up yourself, or that you found yourself?
I wrote it in my history that my mother used to occasionally stop and listen to the wind and then talk out into the wind. I didn't know why.
Right.
She never explained to me if she was a dim walker or not. So when she did it, I'm just trying to mimic what she did. When we were running away with Sola in my arms, I said, spirits of the wilderness, please protect us. We want to get this young one back. We will pay you in kind. And for whatever reason, we did get back. So he's paying in kind. He has no idea what he's doing, but he saw his mother address the winds and the spirits, and because his dad's a dwarf, she's a dwarf, he doesn't know the woods. So you know what? It's better to make friends than to make enemies.
All right.
That's
fair
all
enough.
he's doing.
Fair enough. So while you're doing this, you notice that there's somebody behind you, and as you turn around, you see Sola's two older brothers. They look to be around 12, 13. The younger one, he has a dark blonde hair, and he's standing kind of behind his older brother, the 13-year-old one. The 13-year-old one, the older one, the bigger one, he has bright red hair. Probably the same color as his mother had, because Magne Bite himself, he's an old man now, but he has dark blonde hair, striped with gray. So the bigger kid kind of pushes the little kid forward towards you, and he looks very shy and walks shyly towards you, and he kind of stutters a little bit and says, Master Licklig?
Yes.
What happened to your skin?
My mother said that is a blessing. That's what Licklig means in the dwarven tongue. Blessing.
So
what
when
it means, I do not know.
So when
and I'll put my hand all like that and let him touch it if he wants
right,
to.
he touched it a little bit, but his older brother kind of drags him back and says, Geir, that's very rude. Say sorry. And he kind of looks down and says, okay, so sorry, Master Licklig. I'm just curious, he says. And then the bigger one comes forward and says, my name is Atli. Is it true that you saved our little sister?
Everyone in the group helped. We all did.
Oh, and they kind of look at each other.
I did carry her for a while. That's because my legs are long.
He points at your weapons and he asks you, what is that? What kind of weapons do you have?
To the axe, it's the axe.
What kind of weapons do you have with you?
Probably would have just had my armor, my shield, and my weapons. May have been on the side of the buckboard or the wagon that they had. I don't know that you're going to carry around everything you have 24/7. It doesn't. That wouldn't make sense to do that. So probably just my axe.
Right. You have quite a lot of weapons anyway, huh? They say, can we join your herd? We will listen to you, I promise. The big one says.
He wants to join what?
The herd. You are in the herd, right? You're in the Magne's personal herd right now. They want to join the bodyguards.
Right. I will say that I'm not the commander of the Hild. That if you wish me to introduce, we could do that, but that is not up to me.
Who's the commander?
And I will say that the gentleman who's about so tall, does Jorn have the elven pointed ears situation going on? I don't remember
he
characteristics
does.
about it.
He's got a headband around him. He probably loosened it while they're all together in the longhouse.
Okay, all right. I'll describe Jorn, and I'll say that how he's dressed and with the ears.
You mean the elf? The little one says, the elf is your commander.
Yes.
But you're so strong. Why are you not the commander?
He is very smart.
And Gay, the little one, says, "Oh, just like me. Atli is the strong one. I am the smart one." And Atli says, "I'm smart too." And then he kind of pushes him away, and they kind of fight a little bit. And they say,
right.
"Master Licklig, can you teach us how to fight? We got these." And they reach behind their backs and they drag forward. They have a seax each, like a dagger each, a real dagger. Our father gave us these after what happened to our sister. Can you teach us how to use them?
Again, let us speak. I will speak with your father about that. I don't want to, and off camera here, Licklig's character does not want to trespass on particular traditions or house rules that might be very traditional for them to do. Like maybe only the father wants to teach him something. So I'll tell him that I will speak with their father about it, and if he approves on the journey when we begin tomorrow, perhaps we can get some training started. But that will be up to him.
And they say, "Yay!" and then they run away.
Super.
So you are out doing that, and the rest of you see the kids come into the long hall, and they go and talk with their father. And you can't really hear what they're saying, but they seem very excited. And then they both turn around and looks at Jorin. And then they come towards you.
Nothing like past.
Master Jorin, you are the commander of the herd, right?
I shall be assisting your father in leading us to the thing.
We want to join, and they kind of salute you very cutely, like this.
They want to join the order of the Trolljeager?
We want to join the herd.
The trip to the thing.
Yeah. They want to join you guys. They want to be soldiers like you. They stand there trying to look very professional and like
All right,
straight
I
backs.
will.
We will listen to
stand
you.
up.
We will listen to you.
I will put my mug down and I will stand up and I'll walk over to them and like, and I'll put my hands behind my back like I'm inspecting them. Then I'll pull out my V3 axe and I'll make sure their legs are spaced properly and just kind of tap them with the sword and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
If you could hold this sword with one, if you can hold this with one hand, up with one hand, you may join us.
Who do you give it to? The older one with dark blonde hair, or the little one? And he says, and the little one looks at him and says, "Come on, Alti, you can do it. Atli, you can do it. Let's see if you can do it." You take the blade of the sword to give them the hilt, right? And he takes the hilt, and as you release, he falls in a pile on the floor with the sword. Way too heavy for him.
Okay. I said, until you can stand with the sword held out to defend not only yourself, but your family. And he looks at the little one, Atli, who would be your brother and those around us. You cannot join us.
We will do better next time, he says. We will protect our sister.
Is his father watching this?
Yeah, he is watching, and he has a small smile on his lips, kind of kids be kids,
Look at your father, the pride in his face, as his sons try to step and follow him. Because you do not follow me or the order of the Trolljeager. You follow your father and your clan. We are mere guides on your journey.
And they say they look like they're really thinking about it, and they just salute you again. Yes, Captain. They say, and then they run away.
Wait! Before you go,
yes, they turn around.
If your father does agree that you will be joining us, you will be my messengers.
They look at each other, very happy. Okay. We do whatever you say.
I look at his father, if this is okay.
And he just nods and says,
you shall be my ravens. You shall be I don't know, you'll be Thor, you'll be Odin.
Right,
or whatever.
Right. That's what they call it.
Moon and Hogan.
Yeah,
right,
whatever
the ravens.
Whatever the ravens' names were.
Right. They seem extremely excited and they run out.
I'm not going to go Raven 1 and Raven 2.
Right. And a little bit later,
I mean, Raven the Elder, Raven the Younger. That
right.
better.
So a little bit later, as you've been continue drinking and eating, Geir and Atli come back, but this time they're wearing leather armor. And it's way too big for them. It's like super big and they can barely walk in it. And they have like a too big leather bucket helmet on their heads. And they have a wooden sword each, and they're fighting each other as they move through the longhouse.
When are we leaving?
The next day, in the morning.
I look at their father. Is there armor that fits them? Do we have time to perhaps?
He just laughs. He said, "Not something that small. Let them play. They will get tired soon, and the blacksmith will take care of the armor and bring it back to the workshop." By the way, did you guys get any damage on your equipment, like any BV damage on your shields or swords or like your armor? In
Yes,
that case, you might want to repair it. So Vistain, does Vistain want to repair the armor?
Yes, he will.
Okay, so I guess you go out to the workshop then, and
Yes.
the blacksmith is still there. The grumpy blacksmith. He's one of the thralls actually, but he's a quite valuable thrall, right, with his skills. So he gets a lot of. They treat him very well. He's really big and strong, almost as big as you, but more square looking. He says, "Oh, Master Vistain, how can I help you?"
I will place the armor on his workbench and say, this is damaged. Magne says that you can fix it.
Let me take a look. And he grabs it and slams it down on his workbench. So how many points of damage do you have on it?
2, I believe.
Okay, so the way it works with repairing, if you have the care skill repair or hard materials, you need to succeed with a roll, and for every 1 hour you spend on it, and every 1 hour you have to roll, you get 4 points back. So he said, "Oh, that's not too bad. I will have it done for you in the morning," he says.
Thank you.
Val also has some damaged equipment.
All right.
Her thick fabric and her large shield.
All right. So I guess the blacksmith could take care of the shield, but maybe not the thick fabric.
Because fabric's a soft material.
Right.
Yeah.
What's your armor made of, by the way, Vistain?
He probably can't do it then. Fur and leather.
Okay. Well, he will say, I will let the girl take care of that for you, he says. Does Valraven go out at the same time as Vistain?
Probably, yeah.
Right. So you see Valraven coming up behind you into the shed that functions as a workshop as well. It has like an outside area with just a small roof with the forges and everything, and but you're inside right now. And he's also very happy to help you out. So he will take care of it, and he will contact his the female thrall that's good with sewing and stuff, and they will just repair it for you and give it back to you in the morning. Yeah, just leave it here. I will take care of it. What about the rest of you guys? What are you doing?
There's no girls in here. There's no females of our age.
There are a lot of thrall girls. There's a lot of thrall girls.
Most of them are related to your host or thralls.
Right. Like I said, there's a lot of thralls serving and stuff, and like I said, they seem to be avoiding Magne Bite as much as possible. Very rarely going up to his side of the table and serving him, even though he's the master of the house, that they should be serving him first. But Magne doesn't seem to take much notice of this.
Question: that the thrall, what was his name? Dirt?
Yeah, Dirt. He's the one that met you guys when you first arrived. He's kind
Is he around?
Yeah, he's also serving. He's kind of the master of the thralls, like the thrall. If they have like a different levels of thralldom, he has like he's the best. Together with the blacksmith.
He's acting as the head butler.
Right, pretty much. He's just a few years older than you guys. So he's moving around in the longhouse.
Okay, Vestane is pretty much oblivious to any of this stuff.
Right.
So, yeah. Unless somebody spills something on him, it's not going to be a problem.
Right. I mean, they seem to be doing their job. They're just avoiding Magne in general. After a while, Valraven and Vistain comes back to the feast. And the two boys come up again, this time without armor. They seem quite sweaty and tired. And the little guy comes up by himself, Geir. He goes to Valraven. And he seems to be holding something. And he looks very, very shy. He's kind of hiding behind his dark blonde hair. And he says, Master, Miss Valraven.
What is it, child?
My sister told me that when she was hurt, you took care of her and helped her feel better.
It is one of many gifts that I have.
I I also want to learn this kind of thing. And actually, I have a gift for you to say thank you for my sister. And he takes out what he is holding behind his back, and it seems to be kind of a book. Not a very nice looking book. And you see there's something written on the front of the book in very bad handwriting. Do you know how to read and write rock?
Yes.
All right. So it says on the front, it says "Flower Book by Geir." I will write it in there like this. Flower Book by, like this. He says, I made this book when I was practicing my writing, and I want you to have it. He says, and he reaches it out to you. Maybe it can help you when you are taking care of people.
Thank you. I shall cherish it.
All right. So what do you do with it?
I feel like Val's just been handed a piece of macaroni art.
It has a few pages in it. It's not empty or anything.
I'm gonna flip through it, seem it, pretend to be impressed.
Right. So on the first page, you see a pressed flower. It's a black heather. And Gail looks over your shoulder and says, "This is a black heather. Look." And he's pointing at his writing, and it says next to the black heather, it says, "This flower made my tummy ouchy. Don't sniff it." It says next to it. When you flip to the second one, there's another pressed thing there. There's it looks like a 4-clover, but it's like dark brown.
Ooh.
And it says, "Oh, gave me my first imaginary friend. My head hurts now," it says next to it. And you go through it, and there's other flowers in there as well. And the one says, "I went boom boom in my pants. Do not eat with carrots," it says on it. And another one says, "Smelly." And then it says on the fourth one, it says, "Throw away, or maybe put in Sola's dress." Hee hee hee. Is written. And it just continues like that. A lot of pressed flowers and different kind of plants and some stupid comments in very, very bad handwriting. Do you like it?
It is very educational.
Yay! And he
Kind of
looks,
like
yeah.
Hats him on the head.
He looks very, very happy and proud, and runs away. So you can write that down in your inventory. Flower Book by Geir.
How's that name spelled?
I wrote it in Roll20.
Oh, yes, Roll20. The thing. Oh, Geir.
Yeah. Geir.
Okay.
So yeah, the kids are named, the little one, the dark blonde one is named Geir, and the older one, the 13-year-old one, the red-haired one is named Atli. You probably run into these kids before in your short visit to Barefield Farm before you went out to save their daughter. So the evening continues. You eat and drink more. You're all very happy. And Magne kind of stops you around midnight and says, let's soon go to bed and prepare for tomorrow morning. I will have the thralls get a cart ready. I hope it's fine for you to sleep here in the long house. There's like furs and stuff along the walls. There's these benches that you can use for sitting or sleeping. And that's where most people sleep. And the thralls sleep in some outhouses and the barn and stuff. It's quite normal in the Stormlands. So what is there something else you guys want to do before you go to bed?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. All right. Valrian.
Val's gonna sneak off to her uncle, where he's lying in whatever box they put him in.
Right.
I don't know. And she's gonna try to bring him back.
God damn
it! All right. So, oh, by the way, this is something I haven't told you yet, but in Roll20, I've added all of you guys' character sheets in your journal. And I tried to add your information as accurately as possible, and all your skills and everything. And I gave you some sample attacks and stuff like that. I think I added everybody. I might have forgotten somebody. And just tell me in that case, I will fix it later. But what it means is that you can use these sheets to roll instead of writing all the time. So you can just click on the little buttons next to it. Like, for example, Jorin, I think I added you, right? Character sheet.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So you can click on the attack roll. There's a 20 die there, right? And you just add how much SV you want to use. You can also click on damage in further down there in the combat section. Weapons, you have the damage roll, which also automatically click the buttons there. Same with the skills. If you want to roll, like for example now, you want to roll some magic for Siggy's character. I added it to your magic and religion tab. You just need to remember to remove the, like if it's a level 1 spell, you get a -2 on your SV, right? So don't forget to remove that when you do the roll. But it will also in the chat. It will, yeah. You see, it says attack. So it's quite nice.
Cool.
Yeah. So Siggy, why don't you roll your Wittner? Oh no.
I'm gonna use real dice.
All right. Well, that's fine. I will trust you.
Okay, so that's a SV of 10. How long do I want this to last?
And the rest of you can think about if you want to do
Do I
something
know
else.
about how long it'll take to travel to the thing?
It will take you about maybe 5 days to reach Bronze Hill, the village, and from there it will maybe 2-3 days. So it's quite a long journey, like 7-8 days maybe.
Okay.
By the way, that's also another thing. Since the last adventure started, it's been about 7 days. Just so you know. And the weather is much better now, by the way, as well. It's been raining before, right? But it's all much better now. It's really nice, actually. And it's probably the last push for the summer before it turns into autumn. And autumn is the rainy season in these lands.
Okay. I guess I'll just spend all my points.
All right. Yeah, fair enough. Going to bed soon pretty soon anyway, so.
That is a 7, which is a pass.
All right. Okay. So what happens? This is a dim walker ability, right?
Yeah.
Right. So it's not magic, it's dim walking.
Yeah, it's Helgard's calling.
Right.
I am bringing him back
Right.
from out in the storm.
So how does this look like? What happens?
The first time.
I'm guessing you're in a barn or something that nobody goes in there because it's smelly and stuff because of him, of course.
Yeah. I just sit beside him, maybe with like a bucket of water, and I kind of pour a little bit of water onto him, and start doing an incantation. I know. And then over the next, 3 hours, I bring him back.
He's gonna be alive for 3 hours. Or
He's gonna be alive in 3 hours.
Okay, it takes 3 hours to do it. Okay.
Yes.
So you all noticed that Valraven went out of the hall.
Valraven probably did step out and told Vestine that she was going to grieve and wanted to be left alone.
Right. So yeah, you see Valraven approaching Vestine and telling him something, and then leaving the hall in the middle of the feast. And he's Valraven is away for a few hours. Greld.
If Greld sees this, that she goes away, then he's like, no, I need to ask her things. I need to write down her parts. So I'm probably going up to Vestine and ask, where is Valraven going?
To mourn.
You think I could go out there and ask her a couple of questions before?
She said she wanted to be left alone. But if you catch her before she gets to her uncle, then that would be okay, I guess.
Yeah, that sounds reasonable. Ask her to remember. So, Greld is probably... I'm going out to catch her before she gets to her uncle.
Okay. So how much...
Hopefully before.
I was going to say, since Greld is going off and the writing lesson is apparently over, I will probably end up again playing with Sola, who is probably pretty close to my mental age.
Sure. So let's first, before we go on, let's roll and see if Stein learned anything. Gereld can roll a Futark roll to see if you managed to teach him anything. Because was it Futark you want to learn?
Yeah, it was Futark.
Like talking or reading and writing?
Both, actually, for me, but I don't know what he's teaching first.
I think that I would probably teach you, because I am writing, so it's easy for me to actually show him how I would actually, what every word would be in Futark. So probably talk.
All right.
Futark. Yeah.
So roll a talk Futark and see if you manage to teach him something.
So I'm just clicking here, right? On this.
Exactly. On the little die next to the skill.
Is it the upper or lower? Because there isn't. Well, I just roll and see.
You're actually teaching me reading and writing because apparently.
Reading and writing.
After spending points last time, I have a level 1 of speaking Futark.
Yes, so reading and writing Futark. That's good. And modifier, no. Submit. Where can I see the result?
In the chat. So you didn't succeed in your role. So that means that you tried to teach Verstein, but it was kind of difficult. Also, by the way, in the future, if you guys want to add skill points in languages and this kind of taught subjects, you would have to explain to me how you learned it, who taught you about it, and this kind of thing. So you just keep that in mind in the future when you add points.
Last game there was an offhand mention of trying to learn Futark from Greld for me, so that's why I put it down.
Right. And this time is fine, since it's the first time for us to level up and everything. But just for the future. All right. Okay. So how much of a how much time after Valraven left did you go after her?
Probably a couple of maybe 1 minute or something.
Mm-hmm. So as you go out of the longhouse, you see that Valraven is on the other side of the courtyard, going into one of the outhouses where you know that the uncle's body is, and she just went into there.
Yeah, well, it's so smelly, but then I will probably run off with my stubby little legs,
right,
up and down, and probably I don't want to just run in on her if she starts to grieve. I don't know how people grieve in the human world, so I'm probably going to knock carefully on the door.
Alright, so just as the Valraven is about to start the incantation, there's a knock on the barn door.
Val, who is just kind of getting in the mood to do some dark ritual, just kind of like, yes, what is it?
So now, because she answered, go open the door and walk in.
Right, so the dwarf...
Kind of carefully walking in.
Right, so the dwarf kind of sticks his head in and looks, and then walks slowly into the outhouse.
So first I like showing off with my body language that breathing out quite deep, and first I have to give you my condolences on your uncle. He was probably a good man. I never knew him. Because we are going on a journey and things can happen. I think there is some things that I want to write down that could actually help if something happens on the way. I hope it's not a super bad time with this. But it's quite important.
It is time. What do you need to know?
I want to know if you would pass on the journey. I want to know the next of kin and the place you want your body to be retrieved to.
I do not believe I have any next of kin. I believe that I am the last.
Oh.
My clan.
I'm sorry to hear that, and
but
is there a place you want to be? Yes.
As I may have said before previously to Joran or the others, my clan has traditions that are slightly outside of those normally held in these lands. Rather than burial through burning or at sea, my clan tends to entomb their dead, like the old ways.
Oh.
We have an island, Hogsway, which...
Hogsway?
Yes. The Isle of Barrows. It is where all the island clans of the coast of Jotunheim inter their dead. And I have a clan crypt there, which all my ancestors have been entombed.
Does this place have a name? Or do you have anyone that would know how to get there if I ask?
The island may have a few Hogspori on it, but they usually keep to themselves and only keep to their own clan. There was an old crone I knew there, but she has, I believe, passed from this world.
So, Hogsway, Isle of Barrow. I think that I could probably find that place.
Yeah, and it is the tomb of the Fjorsaford clan.
Sorry?
The Fjorsaford.
Fjorsaford.
Fjorsaford. Something like that. I don't remember how it's pronounced.
Fjorsafjord, yeah.
Well, thank you. I think that's everything I need. And again, condolences on your uncle. We will probably get him there too. Before that, because I have to write the things down that happened. Would you want me to write about your uncle, or should I keep that out?
You can write about him as if he were a great warrior.
Yes.
Great silent warrior.
And his name was Dagger.
Dagger the thrice drowned. A man could not swim, and being from an island made things difficult.
Yeah. Thank you. That should be it. Jaska, I will
For
leave.
the sake of your story, I would leave out that he had been granted back to us after his time.
I tried to write the truth, but in this case, I will have to keep it out for the case of the order. We don't want to get burned for witchcraft or anything like that. Anyhow, I will leave you to your morning.
Of course.
So, Grell is probably leaving here.
Yeah, do you actually leave or do you hang around?
I'm leaving because I don't want to do anything that would make people angry. But the important thing is that he got the knowledge now, so he can write it down.
And
if it would pass.
right, and the thing about him and his clan being entombed in a barrow, it's quite similar to how you dwarves get rid of your dead as well. Either you put them in a forge fire, or you entomb them if they're important dwarves.
Yeah.
So that kind of feels at home. That idea.
I'm thinking that I probably ask Siggy for that information again later.
Right.
Off screen though.
Right. Sure.
Because I think that Grell will probably try to get down everyone's information here.
Mm-hmm.
If we should pass or die.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm walking back to the hall.
Right. So at this point, let's take a little bit of a break. I need to get some more coffee. And you can think about if there's something more you want to do at the feast or after the feast before you go to bed. And we can do that after the little 5-minute break or something.
Yes.
All right? So see you guys in a sec.
God damn it. So I'm actually sitting down and write down these on paper. It's going to look a lot nicer later because I'm going to write it down on brown paper and with pencils. So
Is the Japanese where you get your Rekishi?
Yeah, that's right. It means history in Japanese. I actually started using it when I studied Japanese.
you studied Japanese too?
Yeah.
You lived in China and you studied Japanese. God dang, what have I done with my life?
Well, you made a beautiful shield.
Not one, I made a...
Yes, you
around
did.
10. I actually, a guy contacted me... Huh? Sorry?
Vrigovrice Pruski. Vrigovrice Pruski.
Russian.
Ah,
Russian.
parli Italiano, sì, no.
Sure.
Yeah, it's Italian, I know.
Parlez-vous français?
Yeah.
Habla español.
This is
No
my-
habla español. Sprechen Sie Deutsch?
I almost understand what you said there.
And I speak like that much German.
Having studied
No,
German.
I used to
the
know
family.
more, but... What's that?
My grandma was from Sudet, Germany.
Oh, really?
So,
German.
Sudet, Germany.
Deutschland, German is
Czechoslovakia.
actually the child language of the Scandinavians. German is a secondary or child language of the original Vikings. English is a child language of German.
Yes.
And that's why it's so broken.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
can read German.
a little
I
bit
can't speak it.
slightly more nuanced than that. They're all in the Germanic group.
Oh, when they start amalgamating every single language into it, yeah, English is not English 100 years ago or even 300 years ago.
Yeah,
But that's where its roots are.
like you had the frickin' the Roman English, well, what was it, Breton English, and then the Anglo-Saxons came over. You had like English, and then the Vikings came over. You had like Anglesque or something.
We were super popular.
And then the Normans came up and added French bullshit in there.
And Normans
That's
are...
what English actually is. The E and the A are interchangeable in that, by the way. English is English. That's what that means. The E is just easier on the tongue to say. So when you say Anglo, it's the same as saying Anglo. It's just that Anglo is correct.
Yep.
There's still very, very heavy Latin in all of it, too. The difference between an A and an AN before a word that starts with a vowel all goes back to Latin. And I have a theory that the Japanese acquired a couple of words when the Catholic priests came over to Japan, too.
Yeah,
Because the
but-
word name spelled almost exactly as it is in English as it is for name.
English language speakers adopt so many different languages into their slang and common usage, like skosh. Does anybody know what a skosh is? It's a little
No.
bit. It's from skoshi, which is Japanese, which means a little bit. Well, just give me a skosh of salt. Yeah, it's supposed to be all like, ooh, I'm hoity-toity.
Oh, really? That's actually from Japanese squishy?
Yeah, skoshi.
I will just make a refill.
All right. I also added this intermission on Twitch now as well, where you can see the Twitch chat and my face. Maybe I'll play some guitar, and I can actually hear you guys talking as well. But I
You
think,
can? What?
yeah, but that's okay. You're talking about fun stuff. It doesn't matter. But if you guys are ready, well, okay, not everybody is back yet. So let's wait a little bit. Greg is. That's okay.
And then they answered it in the school way. So the difference between, again, and you'll see it 100 times, conversational language and school trained language, they're not always fully compatible.
Yeah, of course. And also, like in Chinese as well, and also Japanese, the difference between the spoken language and the written language is quite big. So that makes it quite difficult to, especially like in my Chinese, even though I'm at upper intermediate level or intermediate level at least, I still don't feel like I can read like a newspaper or anything, because the way they write and the way they speak is so totally different. They use different.
What dialect?
It's Mandarin, but they use different, like different words, use totally different sounds and everything, and they shorten the words as well when they write. So they just have the first or the second part of the word, and it makes it really, really difficult to read if you don't know what
like
you're doing.
any language out there.
Well, I mean, it's not really the same in English and Swedish. We don't really
Well, don't we
shorten
shorten a lot of words, and it's a lot of things that we doesn't say or write, but
not the
write
in the
different
same way.
than you speak. Yeah.
From what I understand, when you talk about Mandarin, Cantonese, or Japanese, the characters, they're ideographic languages, because each character, what I remember is each character represents a word.
Wow.
And they can be abbreviated, shortened, or whatever to different characters.
Okay. Yeah.
Am I correct, Patrick?
Yes and no. I mean, kind of. Most characters, I mean, they do have a meaning and a sound. Or every character has a meaning and sound.
In Japanese, this is Tachikawa, or East River, or Shake and Three Fries, as we like to say.
Right.
Kawa is river. I know Yama is mountain.
Mm-hmm. And of course, Chinese and Japanese use the same characters pretty much. A little bit different meanings on some of them and different ways to use them. But other than that, pretty much the same. The thing is, in Mandarin Chinese, the mainland China now, they use the simplified characters, which are not the same. They are just simplified versions of the traditional characters that they use in Taiwan and Hong Kong and in Japan. So I'm learning the simplified ones right now. But I did learn Japanese before as well. And then I learned the traditional ones. So I have a little bit of experience with that as well. So that's all good. So guys, are we ready to continue? All right, everybody have a drink. Awesome. So we are still at a feast. Maybe in about an hour or so, you will want to go to bed to get ready for the morning. So if you want to do something, Valraven is still gone, but the rest of you can do something if you want before you go to bed. Anybody? The click Jorin?
I'm going to figure out where everybody went, because I was left alone in the longhouse.
Right. So Valraven and Grell.
Excuse my party, Jarl. I don't know what's going on. Perhaps they're retiring, making last minute adjustments to gear and things like that prior to coming back to sleep. But let me find out that we're all committed and together. So I start looking.
Yeah, all right. So Valraven left and Grell soon after.
So based on the geography of the town, moving from out of the longhouse, what's like the nearest building for me?
All right. So you're in a pretty like a medium-sized farmstead. So there's two longhouses, and they kind of flank the main courtyard where there's a well in the middle and everything. So you're in the left longhouse, and then there's another longhouse like this, pretty much. Mm-hmm. And around there is some outhouses and stuff, and behind the longhouse is where the workshop is. So when you go out, you come out in the courtyard, and you see the other longhouse, and next to it is the little outhouse where you know that the body of Dagger lies. And if you go out straight after Greld, you will see Greld knocking on the door over there. And,
Right,
and
well,
going
I know
inside.
that Valraven was going to that I had committed to her that I would help her uncle go to the next world.
Right.
And perform that honor. I think that I should probably go over there.
Right.
To pay those. I guess Grell was there as well doing so.
So you get over there, and at this point, you hear voices coming from inside. It's Valdraven and Kreld. You hear Valdraven saying that she probably doesn't have any family left. And you're outside the door now, listening to them.
Is it still ajar? Did he close the door after he went in, or?
Yeah, it's closed, but I mean it's not a very super well made shed, so you can hear through it pretty easily.
I will.
And there's another knock on the door.
Greld?
So, is this while we are speaking or directly after I was on my way out?
Directly after.
Right.
Yeah,
You just finished speaking pretty much.
So you were like just turning to leave or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is it?
So, did you say come in or whatever?
He said, is it?
What is it?
I'll open the door. Are you decent?
Why would I?
What's that supposed to mean?
Oh, okay, I'll open the door. It was kind of rude to leave unannounced.
Oh, I'm very
Leaving
sorry.
a banquet that was provided for us by the Jarl for saving. Granted, we were saving his daughter, and he may have been a little drunk. But of note, in the future, if you're not going to let him know where you're going, let somebody else know where you're going.
I did. I let Vestin know.
And Vestine apparently did not pass that message on.
I'm very sorry. It's still a bit new to adapt to your human customs, but I will really remember that.
Universal courtesy at a gathering of individuals when an elder is present, you typically want to excuse yourself or make sure it is okay. That way there's no dishonor or disrespect given to that person or the other members present.
Oh.
You should know this as a dwarf. I mean, I'm sure you've read books.
Greld has always been a little bit of a black sheep, so this is not really out of character at all to just leave without saying anything, because you were in your writing and your papers and you were not even thinking about there being other people around. You just have one mission in your mind, right?
Like his phone in front of him walking down the street. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, kind of that guy.
I will assess the situation. I will look over at Dagger and what state is he in.
He's
Right
very
now, he's
dead. He has
He's dead.
he has a cloth covering him, and it's quite smelly in there.
In about 3 hours, he'll be alive, sorta.
Please don't say that.
Right, you guys see
Do you have worries, Johan?
Jorin's elven nose is kind of shriveled up a little bit at the smell from in there, but he seems
So
to
I can
stand it down.
roll. I can roll my faith, right, to kind of ascertain if like an arrangement of candles or what's happening in here.
At this point, Valraven hasn't even started the incantation, so there's nothing really to see.
Placement of stones, or I mean, I don't understand her dim walking religion, so I don't know if stones placed or.
Yeah, the thing is, she got interrupted before that even started, so there wouldn't be anything to see right now.
I mean, she has a bucket of water, but that's about it.
You know,
Right.
apparently to clean them off and stuff.
You can try to figure out what the bucket of water means if you want to do that, but that would not be faith. That wouldn't be religion and customs for Stormlanders.
Okay.
And I would give you a -5 on that because that's just a bucket of water.
Okay, let's see. Character sheet.
Culture, knowledge, religion, Stormlands.
Try to
And -5 on it because he's holding a bucket of water.
knowledge. Try to navigate this new this character sheet. I don't know if one of you.
I think.
No.
Do you have the cultural knowledge of Stormlands or your Elven lands? Stormlands.
It would
right?
have. It would be Stormlands. I know
Okay.
that. I know that it's. I had to select Elven so I could get the dim walking stuff. Although he would have all the Stormlands stuff.
I mean, you could have it be Stormlands and just write in the Elflands, and it'll still calculate normally. It's only for the auto validate.
Yeah, that's what I got it. Got it in. All right. So I have a.
So knowledge, you have 7 knowledge and then 1 in Stormlands, and you don't have
Sorry.
anything specific in
Zero.
religion.
3.
You can, if you look on the sheet, it says knowledge and then Stormlands and then lore, legends, custom, religion
Right.
is the first part, and you
Right.
have an 8. So you can click on next to the 8 there. You can click on button the religion one,
The -5.
and -5 on that. Yeah. Right. So you can kind of get a feeling that there's maybe something going on, but you don't really get what she's doing. It's just a bucket of water, pretty much.
Yeah, I see that you are finally taking the time to prepare your uncle for his journey.
Yes, I have much experience with preparing the dead.
So I understand that you need to return him to his homeland, or to your homeland. To
It
be
is
enthused.
indeed the tradition of my and the many clans around where I am from.
How is that going to happen?
I don't know. After the thing, I may part ways with you all for a short while, or you feel like coming with me. It's always good to have fellows on the road.
Right. That's
George,
something.
George's a little drunk.
Yeah,
He's got some meat in him.
indeed.
So he will say, Greld,
Huh?
make sure this fool does not try anything stupid.
Oh, yes, sir. By your orders.
You shall remain by her side until we are ready to leave. I do not want her uncle coming back. We do not need the darkness hindering our party and bringing a bad omen upon it. And I'll look at Valraven. Do not disappoint me, or you will be joining him. And I just simply, I back out of the room, like very ominous and menacing. I don't close the door. I don't do that, but it's like it's implied that I'm like,
So,
okay, you better
Grill
not be
isn't
stupid.
drunk at all. He doesn't understand what this is implied or anything, but
He's a dwarf. He's not drunk. That's messed up, man.
he didn't think that much. He was very focused on what he was writing.
Or he was drinking a lot, and because he's a dwarf, he's not drunk. That's probably what it is.
It appears our noble leader has lost himself in the fog of mead.
Well,
He only says that after he leaves.
yeah. So after Jorn leaves, Grell is like, I'm very sorry about. I apologize for our leader's behalf. I really do.
I understand. My
I'm sad that I can't.
ways of my people are very different from what he understands.
Sadly, I can't disobey the order because it's an order from our leader. Even if I think it's really very weird, and I really think I got better things to do. Well, if he thinks that having me standing guard on it, yeah. Well,
And you will watch as for the next 3 hours I pray over my dear uncle.
Right. So let's leave Greld and Baldraven for now. Greld will probably, I guess, will you be inside or outside of the
this is a hard situation because Greld is very dutiful. When he actually set his mind to it, he is very dutiful and he really wants to obey Joris' order. So, I mean, Siggy has already rolled for revive dagger, right? I don't remember.
I think Grell would have the peace of mind to not be inside there when Valraven is grieving. You can if you want to stay around, you can be outside, but
out from the barn, not leaving the barn because that would be directly disobeying the order.
Right.
But he would stand outside,
right,
just to give her some privacy. If you really want to, you can roll, try to convince him. But now I think that Greld is like, he was drunk. He wouldn't mind if I just step outside and guard here.
Right, and also the light is better outside for writing.
Yeah. So I'm probably going out, sit outside, and really try to sit down and write down with the light from the stars and moon.
There's a torch outside as well.
I got night sight. So if I would probably be able to sit down. It would be a bit of a headache, but
there's a bench just outside the door.
Yeah. I sit down and write down.
Right. So Valraven continues his incantation. For you, it sounds just like some kind of prayer.
I mean, you might not be able to understand it. I will be doing the incantation in Fjetersva.
What is that?
It's similar to rock, but it's like the poetic language of it.
All right. And like I'm guessing that the Grell does not
so
understand
beautiful that it puts Siggy to sleep.
And it's basically all kennings and metaphors. And
right.
Has a very specific set of rules to how it is.
Right. Does Grell understand this language? Can't hear you. Can't hear you.
It's from the Stormlanders book.
Okay. I'm guessing no. We still can't hear you, Grell. Your mic is not on.
I don't understand them. I just don't understand Wild Rook and Rook.
I want you to roll a perception roll with a DC 7.
So perception that is. Should I just write it, or is it down on the character? I write it. Is it R1D20?
Yeah, and under 7 plus minus your perception.
Yeah, and I think I got minus in that, if I remember right. Perception. Yes, I got minus in perception because.
Right, so it's less.
I got more important things to do. I got 10.
And what was your value?
9.
7 minus 1.
Oh, 7 minus 1.
Okay, so under 6, you didn't pass.
No.
All right, so you don't notice anything. You just hear her speak in a weird version of rock from inside.
Could be prayers.
Yeah, definitely prayers. Definitely prayers. So Jordan goes back to the party again. Vistain is in his drinks.
I was trying to find where everybody went, so I'm moving through the motions.
All right, Licklig is Licklig back, or is Licklig still out with the manure?
Yeah, I figured that's what he was doing. He did a little bit. We probably sat next to each other.
I said that I would be doing this until basically everybody was ready to go to bed. So Licklig is doing his thing in the field. Right.
So you see Licklig on the as you walk back to the feast, between the second longhouse and the first longhouse, you see Licklig next to a big tree.
I'll leave him to do it. He's probably pooping.
Trolljeager number 1. All right. So yeah, you go back and join Vistain and Magne Bite again. Still, the thralls do seem to be avoiding him still, even this late at night. And it sometimes even happens that he has to call for the thralls 2 or 3 times before they come with drinks and meats for him, which is quite weird.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull one of them female thralls into me, like I'm gonna make out with her or whatever, and then I'm gonna ask, why do you avoid your jarl? Why do you avoid your jarl? Like whispered into her.
She's giggling a little bit nervously as you hold her tight, and she said, "Oh, master, we will leave for the thing tomorrow, and we know he will bring one of us with him, and we don't really want to go. You know, we like it here."
Bringing you to serve him in what capacity?
Yes, yeah, he will. Usually, he brings at least one of us to the thing, and of course, we don't want to be the one going. She says.
Because you will not. You won't leave the thing. If you do, you'll leave with someone else. Correct.
Yeah, I guess you can say that. She says and laughs a little bit to herself. Can I do something for you, master?
Yes, stay by my side.
Okay. Do you need drinks? Do you need more meat?
No, I'm well. You will stay by my side and keep me company.
As you wish, master. Anything. She's quite beautiful, for a thrall, of course. I mean.
Yeah, I'm trying to think in my mind how thralls are normally treated, and she seems pretty shaken, and this is something that I'm not accustomed to because of not maybe we tend to land pretty much sharp.
Yeah, do Clan Ravenhold have any thralls? It's I mean, thralls are quite common in all lands of,
right,
I think the elves don't have thralls though.
Yeah, I think that I think over time, Colgrim, my father, probably would have honored his wife, Norn's mother, and we would have at least given them freedom. And a lot of the thralls just probably stayed, and they became citizens of the town that developed there around, Clan Ravenhold. They still, I mean, they enjoy freedoms of being who they are. They just, probably just don't get paid. They have to make money doing whatever they do.
Right. So you don't have much experience with thralls in general.
Yeah, that's my belief. I mean, I know what thralls are.
Yeah,
I just don't know if they're really.
Right. What do you want to say, Grilled?
About world-wise, if I mind, I don't want to step in something. That is that thralls is a very common in both Midland, all of the wildlands, and stormlands. They are more likely to be better treated in Midland than in the stormlands, but they are still they are your things, but you don't want to treat them badly because then they can't work.
Right, so they are you own them pretty much.
Yeah, you own them. They are not free.
They are the only ones that don't have a vote in the thing, for example. Both males and females have, if they're free men and women, and they have a vote each, but the thralls have no voice.
Yeah.
So the girl seems quite content to sit with you, since you're sitting quite far away from Magne at this point, next to Vistain on the other side of the table. So she seems happy to be there, far away from the master.
How old is she?
I would say she's around 18.
Right, well, my character's 20, so.
Right.
If you want to join, you would probably need to keep an eye on Vistain from overindulging.
He's earned it, so.
Do you want to roll what do you call it? What you call it? It's called Do you want to roll a Constitution to see how drunk you are, Vistain?
Sure, I can do that.
So the higher the number, the drunker you are. Plus minus your... well, I guess it would be the other way around. Okay, do you have any plus or minus in Constitution?
Yes, I have a +2.
Okay, so the higher number, you're less drunk. Lower number, you're very drunk.
Okay.
Forward slash R.
That's what I thought I did. 8.
So 10 then.
So, yes, 10.
So you're I mean, medium drunk. Not very drunk yet. You're quite a big guy, so you can take quite a lot.
Right.
You have your senses still, so to say.
Okay. I was just saying, because of my views of Joran, what he says to me is really going to have an effect on me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, so how did you roll? Pretty good, or are you?
I rolled medium. I rolled dead medium. I rolled a d20 and got a 10.
Right. So yeah, I mean, based on your size and weight, you're probably, tipsy. But
yeah,
it getting late, Jorn will probably notice it and say, "Esteem, my friend, we've journeyed far. Finally, please remove yourself to a good, comfy corner of the longhouse and seek slumber."
Yes, of course.
He pushes a cask of ale towards him.
Right.
He'll be like.
So Vistain stands up and goes to one of the corner benches and kind of nurses his flagon of ale in the corner.
Yes. I will pretty much be out of it for the rest of the night.
All right.
Yeah, I look at the thrall that's next to me, this girl, and I ask her what her name is.
Let's see.
Thrall number 4.
Let's see what her name is. Her name is Galskild. Her name is Galskild. The thrall.
Yeah, I'm not saying that all the time.
Very attractive name.
You can call her Gal if you want. You can call me Galmaster, she says. How may I serve you?
What's the Jarl's name again?
Magne.
Jarl Magne.
You're in.
How?
Are you having a good time, my friend?
I am. I would like to continue this good time.
I see you found Gil. She's one of my prettiest ones, I would say. Would you want to bring her with you to your furs tonight?
I would like her to be mine.
Like her to be yours.
From this day forward.
That is a expensive want.
Consider this a step towards our clans continuing our strong relationship.
Our clans are always been close to each other, even though we're on different sides.
And what is one thrall?
One thrall is quite expensive.
I will take her as payment for my portion of our journey.
That would, honest Master Jorin, what I would pay you for this job would not even be close to the value of such a young and strong thrall as Gelskild.
Then consider her a donation to the Order of the Trolljeager. Her payment shall be for all of us.
Roll a silver tongue roll to see if you can.
Geez, I don't have this.
Mm-hmm. Well,
this should be modified based on our relationship.
Get this. Get it good.
This is really what I want to do too. This is like one of my lowest things.
Yeah, that's the thing. Let's see how it goes.
I'm putting no modifiers on this, I guess. Or do I do this or just roll it straight?
Yeah, let's roll it straight. Oh, you have a 1 in it? Okay.
Yeah, that's what I have.
That's Shadow Arts. That's not... Silver Tongue is under knowledge in language.
My fault.
Knowledge language.
I thought it was. Oh, you're right. I think I have some stuff in this. I thought it was in the show. Oh, yeah, I have an 8.
A little bit better chance.
All right. All right. So I'm going off of our relationship with the clan and what we've done for her daughter, helping out. So I hope I pressed the right roll here. Oh, they're pretty much all 8s or whatever that has to be.
There's a little button next to the Silver Tongue one you can click.
Yeah, but it's not lined up properly. So let me see if they're jacked up a little bit.
If you don't have any value in it, I think.
Yeah, either way, calculator bribery is the same score. So if it comes up as saying one of those things,
yeah, it's okay. All right, that didn't go so well. He says, "You know, Master Jordan, that I'm eternally grateful for what you did for my family and my daughter, and me. You will." Why don't we do like this? Let's bring Gal Skilled on our trip to the thing with us. And you can spend some more time with her. And you can have the honor of sacrificing her at the thing. In my name.
Oops.
As a favor from Clan Beta to Clan Ravenholt.
I so knew where this was going. Oh.
He looks at her. Jorn looks at her.
Mm-hmm. And you can see that she's crying. And she looks very scared.
You know my father.
Of course, he is an honorable man.
But you know that Clan Ravenhold has experienced a good couple decades with thralls serving as servants instead of slaves.
I do remember when I visited your hold last that I noticed the lack of thralls. So that is the explanation.
They were in plain sight, but we do not call them that, and they earn their keep for their freedom. I merely mean to pass this on.
I heard of this this way of thinking. I think in the north of our Stormlands, there are some other places where the thralls have a chance to earn their freedom. Is that how you do it?
Yes. I did not want to dishonor you by asking you your daughter, the hand of your daughter in marriage, because for me, she is too young. And she's just been returned home and has already faced a hardship. I seek this woman, and I refer to what's-her-face as a woman, as my companion for the Order of the Trolljeager, to serve as a shield maiden for us. You may bring another one.
She's a thrall. She doesn't have the right to bear arms.
Unless you free her. Or give her to me and I shall do the same.
What do you suggest?
This is the one thing I ask of you, my friend.
I did pay your order a hefty sum for my daughter's safety.
I pull it off my belt and I put it on the table. You may keep it. A life is worth more than this gold. I do no dishonor to the thing. I do no dishonor to your clan. I honor the life of this woman who has served you well, who has more value than that of performing acts for pleasure and serving mead and wine. I see in her the strength of a Stormlander and arms capable of bearing arms and shield that will serve the order of the Trolljeager as we become legends. And how would it sit for you, Magne Bite, to be the one that fostered this legend, this order into its prosperity, to bring all the clans, to bring nothing but good fortune upon the Stormlands?
The fact that you see her in such a high regard makes her even more valuable as a sacrifice to Stormy at the thing. We have
You know I do not worship Stormy.
You do not. Who do you worship?
My mother. I follow my mother's beliefs as a Dimwalker.
Who was your mother?
Hey, I just met you, and this is crazy. I'm gonna buy you and make you a warrior.
Hold on, it's in my sheet. Hold on, I got my sheet up here. You had to ask me.
I'm trying to find how much a slave actually is worth. I think it says somewhere.
Is it anything like in the old rules or?
Yeah, can you take a look, Grell? I think it's like over 1,000 or something.
The old rule had around, it's like 2,000. It's less than a horse, but it's less than a horse, but it's more than.
Oh, it's less than a horse.
It's less than a horse, but it's more than a good axe. War axe, not a hand axe, but it's more than a good war axe, but it's
okay,
less
because
than a horse.
A horse is worth 50 silver.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
so
It's,
around 20.
Okay.
My mother is Vivani Mai Tatun To Inin.
That doesn't sound Stormlandish.
She is an elf.
Oh,
An elf Ilhana, like myself.
that explains your ears. I've been wondering about that. Many people say that my daughter will has some elf blood in her as well, but you are the first one I ever met that actually has elf blood in their veins. I understand maybe our traditions here are somewhat strange to you.
I was raised a Stormlander. They are not strange. I stand in two worlds and honor both. I simply ask that you as a man honor my request as a man, a fellow friend and warrior.
If you are willing to part with the coin I already granted you, I will let you keep the girl.
It is here before you on the table. I pick it up and I bring it to him.
Then we have a deal, he says.
And I will shake him.
Yeah, he will grab your hand and look at the girl and says, "Girl, this is your new master." And she looks kind of relieved and a little bit scared at the same time.
Come, girl. We must find shelter.
If you guys share the money already, you can remove it from your sheets. Because he just gave back the 100 coins you got for saving Sola.
I think
We're
we
so
were
going to
keeping-
have a talk about economy and such in the order.
So, take a look at your sheets. I'm not sure if you already separated it out.
No, we didn't.
Okay, you had
I
it.
know.
We were going to keep that as a
Okay,
group fund.
right. So if you did add it to your sheet, please remove that amount. So I guess at some point in the future you're gonna notice that there's 100 coins missing, but that's a problem for later, I guess.
Who's keeping track of the group fund anyway?
I believe you.
For the order, I would say that Grilled is probably very much
But who's
the guy
keeping
that would.
who's keeping
look
track of
at
it
the
in real
funds.
life?
I think that Siggy.
I was.
Yeah.
But I never put the 100 silver on it.
Okay, then yeah.
Well, it all
And
works out.
then probably Jorn is the one that got the money, and now he's giving it away. And we
Right.
notice that there are no reward.
So just write that down, Joram, that you gave the money away. So in the future, if somebody asks you for money for repairs or buying a weapon or something, for some reason the money's not there, and you have a very beautiful girl next to you instead.
Question here.
We have some money prior to this fund.
So
Yeah.
is she now a kind of the is she part of the Trolljeager, or is she a thing that is owned by the Trolljeagers?
You don't know anything yet. So
No, because I'm outside standing guard.
we will we'll figure that out.
Yep.
What's her name? Gal what?
I'm writing it in.
I wrote it. You said.
I wrote it in Roll20 right now.
Oh.
Very beautiful female name, Galskild. Some great names.
Well, for Old Norse, it might be very romantic.
Yeah. She has.
It doesn't translate well into English.
Jorin, Gal has dark black hair. And she doesn't look like a Stormlander. She looks like a wild folk.
Okay. Gotcha.
All right. So, since the girl is with you now, Magne, I guess Magne is looking for another sacrifice. So, is there anything else you want to do before nightfall?
I'll take her. I will take her to a corner of. I'll actually take her to another building.
All right. You can go to the other longhouse or some outhouse or something.
Yeah, where we can get some privacy.
Sure.
Outhouse.
There's a few outhouses, like small sheds and stuff. There's a latrine as well, but I don't think you want to go there.
Well,
Usually
in
we call
America,
them-
an outhouse is a latrine.
Yeah, I
Same
know.
thing.
Yeah, I know.
She's not a dirty girl.
The normal
Hey,
word
take her out to
for
the outhouse. Oh, great.
So, do you go to one of the shacks, or do you go to
Outbuilding.
the other longhouse?
Probably to the other longhouse.
Oh, yeah. It's quite empty since the feast is in the other one. There's just some thralls sleeping in there, and some
Okay,
farmhands.
it's 12:30. Brian, do you need to go?
I'm fine.
Okay.
All right. So the night continues. Vestaine drinks his fill and falls asleep in the corner under some furs very comfortably. Lykkelig finishes up his prayer and moves back to the longhouse. It's now quiet. Magne is not there anymore. He's retired to his chambers. The only actual room other than the main room that's in this house. The thralls, some are sitting around sleeping, some are eating the leftovers. Kind of a normal scene after a feast. Valdraven finishes up his incantation and he exits the shack and sees Greld is sitting slumped against the wall, sleeping outside. And what happens with Dagger?
He just lies there.
He doesn't move or anything?
Nope.
All right.
He's dead.
Yeah.
Why would he move?
Right. And night falls. You get woken up pretty early in the next morning. Still a really good weather, nice weather. The sun has just risen on the horizon. Yeah, Greld?
Did I got inside, or did I sleep on the bench outside?
Yeah, you slept on the bench, but it's
God damn it.
still late summer, so it's quite comfortable. No problem. You all had a really good sleep. You ate well, you drank well. You can reset everything like your HP, your dim walker points, your Vintner points, everything like that. It's everything back to normal, full HP and everything. And the next day, the thralls have prepared your wagon for you. And there's... oh, what happened? Did somebody leave the conversation?
No, I
Oh, fucked up the boxes when you turn off the camera, man. Okay, so now nobody can see our faces. Yeah, just,
Okay.
sorry, Greg.
I moved my arm and hit the plug.
Okay. Well, luckily you were the last one to exit and enter the conversation, so all the boxes are in the right place anyway. So you feel quite good, all of you. Like you are a little bit hungover if you drank a lot, and especially the stain is quite hungover. But it's gonna be a quite easy journey in the beginning now, so you know you have time to relax and get your strength back. There is a Magne Bite that has a big battle horse that he's riding. He has his sword Dreamer on his back. There is space on the cart for maybe 3 people, and there is some more horses for you guys. So how do you wanna go in the procession? You have
Are
the
his
cart.
sons with us?
Yeah, the 2 kids. They're sitting on the cart with the daughter as well. Sola.
Are
Quick
they in their
question.
armor?
Does Maga have his own? Does Maga have his own cart? Because we have one too.
Oh, you don't have one. You had Kraltjan's one.
No, that's right. Yeah, we had borrowed one.
So you have Magne has a cart for the kids and for the. There's another thrall girl sitting on the cart that you saw giving out food and stuff the day before. She looks very sad.
But the cart we had that Nerney ran over, Nerney's character ran over Yorin. That cart's going with us. It's got all, or did we just pour it all into his?
It might be the same cart.
We came here in a bucket.
Right.
Yeah, that cart got sent to the thing already,
Right.
from what I understand.
So yeah, okay, all right, yeah, okay.
Needed to send that out. Yeah.
Right. So you have the cart with Sola, Geir, Atli are on there. Jorin's gal is on there, and another thrall girl.
She's walking with me. So are Magne's boys.
All right.
They
And,
wanted to come.
He has
I'll ride in the cart.
3 horses for you guys to use, so you can decide where you want to be. Grell, what?
Just a tip. It's probably best if Grell sits on a cart because he won't do any good on a horse. And he got very chubby, small legs.
And so Magne comes up to you, Jorin, and says, "Captain, are you ready to leave?"
Yes, Jarl.
So,
Might I make a suggestion?
Sure.
Do your boys know how to ride horses?
They're too small for that. They will sit on the cart.
I look at them and I said, they are elder raven and younger raven. They can be our eyes and our ears.
If you don't mind, I will let my sons sit in the cart with their little sister. I will leave it up to you, Captain Jorin, to decide who drives the cart, who takes the horses.
Nerney, you can drive the cart.
Okay, I'm good.
Just in case we got to run over somebody. I say that we, if the Jarl has stated that the first couple days of travel will be good. So I would prefer that we only use the horses if necessary. But if we can make better time, doubling up on horses and traveling, then we should do that. Otherwise,
I mean,
burden the horses with riders. That's okay.
Right. So you are in a hurry to get there. You will probably get there. You will not get there before the thing starts, because it starts in 3 days. But they have a lot of stuff going on. There's going to be a whole 1 or 2 weeks event, pretty much. Probably.
Yeah, we're going to make it before the big meeting.
Right,
so.
right. But you still need to hurry a little bit. So he says, I have these 3 horses here for you to use. You can decide who you want to.
Vestine, you're too big to ride a horse, right?
I would think so.
All right, so
yeah, these are just normal horses, so they wouldn't be able to.
Yeah, so that leaves Lick and myself.
Right.
And
I mean, Vestine could ride a horse, I guess. You're not like bigger size than anybody else. You're just very big.
Yeah, but if we have to double up, that ain't happening.
No, you don't need double up. You have 3 horses, and you have 3 places on the.
Alpaca will be on the 3rd.
Right.
You know,
Alpaca will walk. Waldheim will walk.
So let's say Waldhelm is taking one of the horses, Jorn is taking another one, Lyktig the 3rd one, right?
Yeah.
And Vestine and Greld and Valraven are on the cart. So, Valraven, are you sitting in the front of the cart or in the back of the cart?
In the back.
Valskip can ride with me.
Oh yeah? Okay. Yeah, the girl can ride with you. So Magne will ride in front of the cart. Will any of you join him up there? In front of the cart?
Yeah.
On the horse?
Yeah, if that's where he wants us to be.
I'm asking you. You can decide where you want to put your horses and stuff.
Yeah, we should be in the front. Let's let Waldhelm take the back. So if he needs to, he can use his abilities to sneaky, hidey.
All right. And what about Vestine? Are you sitting in the front of the cart on the with the Greld, or in the back with Valraven?
In the front.
Okay. And what about Jorin and Lyklig?
Yeah, so I think it's Lyklig and Jorn in the front, then the cart with Greld and Vestine in the front, Magne Bite, his daughter and the boys, and then Valraven and whoever's sitting next to him, and then Waldhelm in the back. That's kind of what I pictured. Right?
Right.
Am I right?
So I did like this. If you can see, maybe. So Waldhelm in the back on the horse, cart with Vestine in the front with very beautiful G there that you can barely see.
Yay!
And then the V, there's Valraven, and then Jorin, Magne, and Lyklig.
Yeah, okay. Magne, yeah, okay. Yeah. Magne's on his horse as well.
Or you can ask Magne to take a step back and ride behind you guys.
You should stay close to the cart. I mean, we're our bodyguards, so we should have a little room ahead.
So I put Magne in Lyklig's position and Lyklig in the front. All right, cool.
So so Lyklig and I we'll try to be like a good 4 horses ahead, so we can suss out anything that's coming at us, kind of like out of earshot. And I will, because there really hasn't been time to tell anybody what the situation is with this girl, so I'm sure everybody's asking.
Right.
Lyklig.
Yes.
This is Galskid.
Yeah, boy.
This is Galskid. Galskid Lyklig. Do you have an extra sword and shield for her?
We do have a small shield and I want to say an axe. Let me take a look.
You do know
They're
that
both...
Val has an extra shield now that her uncle has passed.
Right, he's back at the farm, right?
Do you leave the uncle at the farm, or do you bring it to the thing?
Oh, I'm bringing him.
Okay, so I guess he's also in the cart then.
Yeah.
He's quite
the
smelly.
Boys are like, what the heck?
Right. But I mean, Magne knew that you wanted to bring your uncle to the thing, so it's not a strange thing to do, since the thing is also a religious place, right? So that would be a good place to do the last rites and stuff if you wanted to do that. And that's also where they sacrifice, like the richer farms, families will sacrifice a thrall if they have one extra. That's the most honorable thing to do, and lower family would maybe sacrifice an animal or something, as far as you know, the people from Stromlands.
Right. Yeah. So if he's got a shield, so you do have a shield and an axe. That I say, and when we make camp, gather the order. We need to speak.
We've got a small shield, and we have actually a small sword. They're not the greatest, but they're okay. We've got a CX too, but I don't have any extra armor we can give her.
One of the boys' armor. If the boys aren't wearing their armor, I don't want to even push that. I don't want to push taking one of the boys' armors.
Yeah, they're not wearing it. They're way too big
Well,
for them.
she's untrained. She's going to want to jump under the wagon before she gets in training.
Yeah.
So all of you in the morning there, you noticed this black-haired, raven-haired girl sitting behind, or is it sitting in front or behind Jorin?
Behind.
Okay, she's sitting behind Jorin, holding him. So, did she enjoy the night with you? Would you say? Mm. She seems she's leaning her head on Jorin's back, looking quite content. You saw her around. She's one of the thralls that served you guys the day before. Greld?
Is this during the travel, or is it during?
You're just sitting up right now to.
Okay, yeah. Then I won't think about it.
All right.
You said she was noticeably a wildlander, or not wildlander?
Wild folk, yeah.
Wild folk. Val will approach and say in Wild Vrock. So we already left, right? We're a day out.
You're on the road. I guess this would be as you're sitting up on your horses and preparing to leave.
Okay. Val will just say in Wild Vrock, which she speaks, and she'll say, Bite's clan must be very wealthy to give 2 thralls.
She looks at you confused. She doesn't seem to understand you.
Val just kind of nods. And then just goes, I assumed you would know the tongue.
Are you saying this in Vrock?
Wild Vrock.
She looks even more confused at you.
Then she just looks at you and says, it is possible we can trust her.
She's with the order. We'll discuss when we make camp.
Mm-hmm. The rest of you want to do anything?
No.
Trying to drive better than before.
Right. So you make your way, you get ready, and you go. Magne's thralls have made sure that you have enough provisions for the trip and everything. Don't need to worry about that. And the weather is awesome. It's great. Like late summer weather. It's not too hot, not too cold. It's just pretty perfect. Oh, did somebody leave the conversation? Because all the boxes are fucked up.
I'm here. Everybody's here.
Oh, Lick is not here.
Oh, okay.
Okay, now all the boxes are gonna be in the wrong order. Jorin now looks like
on your end or mine?
your end. Let's see if I can fix this quickly.
Okay, he's back.
Yeah. I'm all the guys are in the wrong order now. But I will just fix it. So let's just take everybody out like this. So Gerald should be here, and Jordan should be here, and Justine should be here. Lykkelig should be here, and Siki should be here. All right, all back to normal. So you notice when you go, the weather is nice, like I said, but all the farmsteads that you passed before, if you remember, there were like pillars of smoke and stuff coming from them. About half of them seem like the activity doesn't seem very high. Like there's no pillars of smoke coming from half of them. And later in the day, you come to where you saw the massive farmstead of Einbjörn Lodabrot, shield-jarl Einbjörn, and that's also not as much activity as it seemed to be before when you came this way. You're guessing that most people have already left for the thing at this point, and the farmsteads are all kind of just a few people left taking care of the animals and everything. It doesn't take as long as last time. Last time it took about 2 days to go between Jukas Hearth and Barefield. This time it takes about 1.5 days. And you come to Jukas Hearth in the early afternoon of the second day. And also Jukas Hearth seems quite abandoned. Yeah, Greld?
I'm thinking if we want to see where we take the first evening there, because that would be a great way to recap for the order to meet up, and Jorin can tell us what the fuck is going on.
We can take a scene where you guys are camping for the first night if you want.
Yep.
All right. So after a nice day of traveling without any incidents, you manage to find you go to the cave that you went to before and make camp. It looks like it's looks the same as when you left it last time. Doesn't seem like anybody has been really traveling this way. And this will be before you saw Einbjörn Lodabrot's farm. So this evening you just make camp in the cave. Set up some guard shifts and stuff, and park the wagon outside, and you all make ready for bed. You're sitting around the fireplace inside the cave at this point.
Okay. I am going to try and do a hunt for small game when we first arrive. Okay.
How many hours do you want to spend?
Minimum I have to spend is 2, and that's all I'm going to spend.
All right. I'm going to take a look at my little sheet here.
Whoa! I have a perfect success.
Oh, nice.
Roll a 1.
Nice. Finally, so we got some
Sweet.
success.
So some nice rabbit stew.
Okay, so let's see here.
More than likely.
So,
Oxymoron.
did you go for small game or big game or standard game?
Small game, because that takes 2 hours. Otherwise, I would have to spend the whole day, which is at some point.
Oh, you need to spend 4 hours. For
Okay,
small
well,
game.
whatever, minimum.
Yeah, and you got a 1. What is your skill value in it?
7.
Okay, so you got 1d6 plus 2 small game. So you can roll a 1d6 plus 2.
Seven.
Nice. So you get 7 rations worth of small game, sorted rabbits and this kind of animals, squirrels, if you want to eat that. Mostly rabbits. You set out some traps. You check around and see where they seem to be conjugating and where the paths are and stuff. And you set out some traps, and you managed to catch quite a lot of food actually. So awesome, good work. You make some rabbit stew for everybody, I guess, and they are very happy. Let's see if you manage to cook some rabbit stew for them. So let's roll out cooking.
I cook it, but if I make my roll, it's actually good.
Right.
12.
Easiest is since the skills are also on the character sheet, you can just roll from the character sheet.
Nice.
And that way we will see like your skill level as well, and it will say
Okay.
cooking on it.
That should be under attributes and abilities.
Skills
Uh,
in Roll20.
yeah, I
Yeah.
have.
It should mimic the setup of the Excel spreadsheet.
Right.
Then where is it?
If you click in the journal and click on your name, and then you go to character sheet and then skills. And
I
then,
don't have a skills tab. I have a bio and info tab, a character sheet tab.
Yeah, click on character sheet, and then you have more tabs underneath.
Okay, then it goes.
So character sheet, and they have character skills, magic, combat, and equipment underneath.
Yeah, so I just want to put a big kudos to you, Patrick, for creating that in Roll20.
That is awesome.
Because it's really nice that way we're not over in a
Yeah.
Google Docs or whatever. It keeps
Like
us all-
I didn't create the actual sheet, but I added all the information and stuff, so
Nice.
to make it easier for you guys.
Okay, if I'm reading this right, I rolled a 5 versus a 7, so I am successful at that also.
All right, so I will give you a bonus then. I will give you a +1 bonus to everything you're doing for the next day because of the amazing food. So you all munch down on some amazing rabbit stew that Vestain provided. And Magne seems quite happy to not have to eat the road rations for a day. And you all just decide to get together and talk. And Magne goes to bed pretty early. And he lets you take care of the watches and everything.
At some point, as we set up camp, I would have interacted with the boys.
Mm-hmm.
And, Elder Raven.
And Atli comes up to you, and his red hair is kind of
the oldest, yeah.
right, and he's
I actually the youngest one I will call Elder Raven, and the oldest one I will call Younger Raven.
okay. So they both come up to you, and they do this little cute salute, and it says, "Who's the elder Raven? Who's the younger Raven?"
Atli's elder.
Okay, he's the
He
older
is
boy as well.
Or who's the youngest?
Geir is the youngest one. He's 12. Atli is 13.
You are the youngest, but you also have a wide-eyed look and better perception of the world. So you will be Elder Raven. You will be
He
the
looks
eyes.
very happy. Yes, sir.
Atli, you're older. You've experienced things, but you have a heart that is still young. You will be Younger Raven. You will be our ears.
They look very happy about this.
Wherever you go together. You protect each other. You look and you listen, and you report everything back to any one of us. Understood?
Oh yes, and also protect our sister.
That is correct. She is White Raven.
They really like these nicknames.
Okay. All right. So, go.
They continue playing. Sola is also asleep already. Sola is sleeping together with her father.
Sleeping Raven.
Yeah, sleeping Raven.
So are we kind of sitting?
Yeah, we're all together now. So
Yeah, you're sitting around the campfire in the cave. And Magne is sleeping, Sola is sleeping. The boys are just playing next to you guys. They seem to be playing with some rocks on the ground.
So
Look like
is the
that axe
troll
is huge.
sitting among us, or is she?
Oh, she's there. She's with us. I have to do introductions.
Yeah, and so Grilled doesn't seem very happy about it, but he's kind of unsure about what he thinks. So after some time around, when you get to this awkward silence situation, I'm going to look at Jorin and then say, "So, sir, I can't quit to notice that there is an extra person among us. Is it something that happened this evening that we should know about?"
Licklig, the sword, the axe and shield, please.
Yes.
I go over to Licklig
Oh,
and I take
yeah.
I take the
Pull
axe
him out of
and
the back
shield.
of the buckets. I was taking care of the animal.
Yeah. However that he walks over, hands him to me, and sits down. And I turn and I say, "This is Galskid."
Yes?
Yes. She was a thrall of Magne Bite. She's now a free woman.
But she was a thrall.
Was being the key word.
How?
A thrall. That is like a slave.
Stand. I ask her to stand, and I hand her the shield and the axe.
She she seems to barely be able to hold them up.
And that's fine. I said, "You'll note that there's no money, coin purse on my belt.
Yes?
This girl, acting as shield maiden, is worth more than that gold."
Have she ever held a sword, or a spear, or an axe?
Have you?
Yes, I used the axe, but what? Can she do anything else? Can she read? Can she write? Can she?
She will learn one thing from each of us. Let's start there, Greld. With you. With your base knowledge of using an axe. Yes?
I'm very, very sorry, sir, but can we at least in the future, or am I the only one that's not really fine with this? So Greld is probably looking like he...
You just see
kind of
Val like glaring like ice daggers at Yoren, and she just says, "Perhaps we were a little foolish in who to have our commander as."
So I'm looking at Lycklig to see what his reaction is.
So, you made the
Leg is stone cold.
Oh,
So Yoren, you made this decision when? Was it the night you were drunk and an ass? You decided to give up our reward for a reward just for yourself. Or may we all make use of this one?
Appearances can be deceiving. We all have our secrets, as I've stated before.
And your secret is that you wish to indebt someone to you?
No, you traveled with a companion on our first adventure. We shall all travel. I shall travel with this one. And
this is very important. I must say this because is she a thrall that is under our order? Is she a tool or is she a member of the order? This is important because is she a free woman but part of the order or?
Well,
in my society, we don't free thralls. So please tell me.
Who doesn't free thralls? Dwarves? Stormlanders? Elves?
We don't free thralls. When we get them down, they work. Justin, is she a free woman, part of the order, or is she the order's tool? Is she an equipment?
It's not hard to understand. A thrall is like your left hand. A free person is like your right. She is a right hand.
So she's a free person. That is what.
By you buying her, does that make her equal to us? That is what Greld is asking.
Yes.
Thanks.
But she has not proven herself, and what she has proven has only been of use to you when you have been horizontal.
Oh, when we spoke throughout the evening and talked of her history and how she became to be a thrall of Magne Bite, you assume appearances can be deceiving.
Did you actually sleep with her during the night?
Yeah, no. We talked. We became friends.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's Val's gonna assume.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, everybody's
I want everybody to roll a trading roll under care.
I like this, by the way.
This is great drama.
Tradesman.
Trading, yeah.
The cat.
Natural one.
All right, nice.
What I did.
Okay, what was I going to roll?
For the
Tradesman.
king?
Trading.
So
Trader. It's care, tradesman, trader.
don't.
Yes.
There we go.
All right. So
Okay, confirm what SB stands for.
skill value.
I get V stands for value.
Skill value.
Okay.
Oh, 3. 3 of 7.
Got it. Skill
So
value.
if you succeed with this trading roll or trader roll, you do know that a thrall is worth about 50 silver,
Yes.
and you got 100 silver from the reward.
So Greld is raising his hand up again, and he looks really, really upset. Might I speak, sir?
Out of play question. I got a quick question out of play.
Sure.
I get Grill's upset. Is this a dwarven issue? I get he's upset about the money. That's fine, because divided amongst us, that would have been like what, 15 or 16, I think. I can't remember silver.
Yeah.
But the thing is do dwarves and Trudvang have thralls?
The dwarves.
Yeah, we do.
yeah.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Grill.
If I remember right, that is, dwarves are probably the worst owner you can have as a thrall, because the only thing we do, we are keeping them, and they work, and then we use them in the mines. They do everything, and they work until they die.
But usually the dwarves don't have other dwarves as thralls.
No,
usually
it's
when a
human-
dwarf. Right.
It's human trolls. We use humans.
Or also trolls and goblins and stuff.
And I think that's why we are so cruel to them, because they are not dwarves. They doesn't.
Right.
We are not looking at them as a person. They are
Okay.
equipment.
All right.
Yeah, because when a dwarf does something illegal, they get banished.
Yeah.
All right. So, I mean, and also the Stormlander tradition is to keep thralls, and it's just maybe Westmark is not as much, right? But they might have some thralls as well.
I think that Westmark got some of those. They are free, but they are not free to leave the
yeah,
area.
like peasants.
Yeah, they're-
They are peasants. They are serfs.
Serf, yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess the elves doesn't have any thralls really.
Not what I know.
Over the past few decades, Clan Ravenhold has moved away from having thralls. They're all free, and they've shown loyalty to the clan, and they earn their freedom.
But you paid twice the worth of this slave. You have said that we have to teach her to use weapon. We have to teach her everything. She's worth at the most 50.
But after
Did we at least get some equipment for her?
we've taught her, her worth is priceless.
I
Yes,
think
but
your evaluation of investments is not quite correct.
And that
It's a
is
lot better
that
than
she
your
lives
evaluation of life,
long enough.
not letting life pass to where it needs to pass. You've been told, girl. Do you not think that we understand what you're trying to do?
I am trying to honor my people's traditions.
What, of raising the dead? Check Dagger right now. Tell me he is dead. Prove to me that he has not been resurrected.
Can
I'll
I
trust your
do
word.
that by easily check the pulse?
Look at him. Touch him, feel him. His skin is cold.
If
He's dead, as he has been.
Command him to come to us.
To come to us, you want me to call out, Dagger, come. Dagger does nothing.
Sorry. I think that what I wanted to say for this order, please, sir, can we at least speak about such decisions among the order, or is it a complete that You have to take all the calls without even asking for some consort or decision making. What our opinion is about things.
Enough.
Girl,
Enough. Vestine, hold.
I think
We all this. No,
change who our leader is.
I think everyone needs to take a moment. Did any of you communicate where you were going last night? Do I need to communicate where I went and what I did?
I communicate.
After we celebrated our success, I made a decision that is for the betterment of this group, betterment of the Order of the Trolljeager. I honor my clan, I honor my mother and my father by doing so, and I did it in a way that honored Jarl Magne Bite. It honors the value of this girl that can prove a useful asset to the Order of the Trolljeager. Is
But
she
not talking to us first. You have dishonored us.
And how does that dishonor weigh
You have
with
stolen the money from our pockets.
with you lying to us about your uncle, having us travel with an undead person? I bring to you a living, breathing woman. Stand, Galskid.
Galskid stands up and she looks very confused.
Raise your axe.
She drops the shield and takes the axe with both hands and kind of lifts it up. What do you want
I will help
to
hold it.
do?
I said, look at the strength in these arms. Look at the strength of this steel. Each one of us has been in this position that she is in right now, a novice, not knowing much of the world other than the hardship that it has given her. Together, we, as was stated by Nirni, the silly, we shall train her. We shall teach her. We shall grow together as a group farther than we have so far by putting our shared investment into a life that will save the lives of all of us.
And she looks at you and says, "You think I can do that, Master?"
It is not master. You may call me Yorin. I'm your friend, not your master. None of us are your masters. Yes, I feel that you can do it. Who stands with me? And I stand as the Order of the Trolljeager, and I bring out the blue orb. I bring out the blue orb again.
I will stand and say, the messenger of the gods has spoken.
Miss.
So, Grilled is probably letting a deep sigh out, and he's standing up, and he's looking at you. I respect you, but please, in the future, just consult your members. I stand with your decision in this. But I found it.
I will pull out my 15 silver and throw it on the ground. If money is a
you never
concern-
got the 15 silver.
No, I actually had 15 silver beforehand.
Oh.
So I will
We
pull
all
it out.
do.
I will pull it out and throw it on the ground and say, if money is of concern of any of you, clatter, clatter, clatter,
Of
here is
course,
mine.
it's just in the future. Can we speak about such things? And I will stand with you. I will use my weapon. I will even fight
Let's
if you
talk.
want me to.
I'm waiting for people to put their hand on this thing.
Oh,
Val's gonna
Oh, I'm
spit on
there.
the ground and leave.
I'm all over it.
Vestine,
My money is there for anyone who would take it.
you put your hand on the orb,
Yes.
and you said Val spits on the ground and leaves.
Yep.
Grelled. And
Yeah.
then
Grill puts his hand on it.
I put my hand on
It's
top
very
of every.
sad, though.
I said, Galskid, you may drop the axe and join us.
She drops the axe and looks at you and looks at the orb and says, "What is this orb?"
This is a token of trust. It is a symbol between us.
She says it kind of looks like one of those things that trolls left behind in the
It's
dream.
It's not. We've already had this discussion. It is safe.
She puts her hand on the orb.
I'll put my hand on top. I'm like, and I'll take a breath. I'm like, friends. Like all this bravado that he has just drops. He says, look, I cannot see a life be sacrificed to the Jarl. This is the first thing I've been to in any position of power. We are the Order of the Trolljeager. We have become friends. We all need to communicate with each other what our true intentions are. I bring to you a gift. I bring to you someone that will pay for our lives tenfold, more than the measly 100 gold that we had.
Silver.
The 100
Silver.
The girl looks at you, and she looks very surprised at your words, and she kind of looks a little bit scared at your words, and she doesn't really understand because she's been a thrall her whole life, and she never had anything to say about her own life.
Well, I look at her and I say, "Do not fret. We were all scared and prisoners of our lives until we were able to take that step out the front door."
I will try my best to serve you, Matt Jorin.
You will not serve me. You will be alongside me. You'll be alongside my friends, the Order of the Trolljeager.
You saved me from certain death at the stake.
And I apologize for your ex-fellow thrall. Comfort her as best that you can during the journey, because the sacrifice must be made.
Of course, I will do this.
And I look at everybody else and I said, look, I did this trying to cement some relationship between my clan and this clan, our long-standing relationship, the Ravenholds and the Vitas.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it honors everybody. If you feel that there's any dishonor on my part, I apologize.
At this point, Waldhelm, who's been sitting in the corner of the cave, kind of stands up and releases a big breath of air, like, I'll go after and talk with Waldraven, he says, and just walks out without touching the orb.
Okay.
And
then I'll put the orb back in its thing, and I was like, Nerny, if you are willing and have the energy, Galskid is ready.
I guess I can put down a few more words on paper, and also I'm going to need her to learn how to read and write. And I'm looking straight up on Galskin.
she looks back at you. You would teach me how to read and write?
You are going to teach from the steam here, because I have enough to deal with. But you need to learn how to read and write, because I need to have your next of kin home or hold.
You want to know about my family?
I need to. And yes.
What do you want to know?
While all of this is going on, I am going to look at Norin and then glance where Waldheim and Valraven went, and just kind of glance back and forth.
Okay. So she asks.
I'll look at Vestine and I'll go, do what you must.
So Gal is looking questionably on the Grell, and does he want to know about her family now, or?
Patrick, could you check your Discord messages?
Oh yeah, sure. I can. Oh, you sent some stuff to me, huh? Yeah. Okay.
I did the cat.
Sure. So after a little while, you feel the orb in your pocket is getting very cold, Joran.
Okay.
So yeah, it's kind of growing colder in your pocket. And as you're looking down, there's some kind of looks almost like mist coming out of your pockets. And when you put your hand in there and take out the orb again, heavy fog fills the cave, and you can barely see anything.
I will take it out of the cave.
Okay. The fog seems to be following you as you go out of the cave. And the rest of you see this, of course, as well.
Look to Bear.
What is this devil ship?
The girl, the Sola and the boys are all sleeping at this point, by the way. So they don't notice this. What the fuck? So
as I walk out, I look at Vistine. I'm like, join me.
Effectively, after you said do what you need to do.
Oh, you left. You went.
I left.
Okay.
Right. So Vistane, you're outside the cave and you see how Jorin comes out holding the orb, and a thick fog seems to be billowing out, centering on the orb. And Jorin is almost rushing out of the cave with it in front of him.
I will drop it.
Okay.
And I will cover it with dirt.
All right. The fog is still like spilling out through the dirt, even though you covered
I'll
it.
put it in the fire.
Okay. That seems to help a little bit. The fog seems to be evaporating as soon as it leaves the bead, and after about a minute, you hear a big like crack like this, and the bead explodes, and the fog dies down. And you're all standing outside now. Greld followed as well, and Licklig. So Jorin, Vistane, Licklig, and Greld are standing around the fire outside, and looking down at this broken piece of glass bead.
Okay, Patrick, you understand that my intention was to follow Valraven.
Mm-hmm. But this happened.
So
This happened as soon as you went outside. Jorin came after you straight
I am
away.
still trying to follow her.
Oh, you don't react to the fog or anything, or what Jorin is doing?
No, I just keep going.
Left before the fog happened.
Oh, but the fog happened just as Vestane turned to leave. So you just went out after Vestane, pretty much. So Vestane would have had a chance to notice this, but if he's very focused, he would have maybe just continued walking after wherever direction you think Valraven and the Waldhelm went.
I have my orders, so I am following them.
Okay.
We cursed.
So where did Valraven go?
I don't know, just out in the night to some clearing somewhere.
Just you went into the forest a little bit.
Not so far that she can't see at least the light from the campfire.
All right.
At the opening of the cave.
All right.
But like, she's brooding.
Right. So she just went down into the bushes a little bit, and there's a little meadow there. And she's just sitting on the ground. And Valraven sits down next to you. Waldhelm sits down next to you and says something like, "Don't bother worrying about them. They will turn around. Don't worry about it. They will learn the lesson. And let's see how much use this girl can be," he says, and laughs a little bit. In the wildlands, we wouldn't even have bothered with her, he says.
Yeah. As far as I see, her only worth is what Magne had intended with her, to give her up to the gods.
She probably would have been the biggest honor she could have received would have probably been to be sacrificed at the stake,
Yes.
as was intended.
I've gone to serve in the halls of the gods.
Indeed. This is also the way of my people, he says. She didn't even understand you when you spoke our language. She's probably a second or third generation thrall. She doesn't know any other life than the farm, he says.
It is something I picked up in my times. I'm not very good at it, but it was a good way to test her.
Mm. Right, so you have a little bit of conversation, and Vistain joins you just a few minutes later. So what do you do, Vistain, when you come to the little meadow with them two talking on the ground?
Well, out of character, Waldheim has about 3 rounds to convince me not to kill her.
So what do you say as you enter the meadow?
I don't say anything. I just pretty much stare at her. I have my hammer at basically port arms, and I am staring intensely at her.
Hello, Vestine. Have you come to brood as well?
No answer.
Val's just gonna kind of stand up. So, you wish to follow Yorin?
No answer.
Let's see if you can notice the intent in his eyes.
Yeah, okay. What do you want me to roll for that?
Is there anything like that in the skills?
Probably perception.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too, but is there something else we could use?
Yeah.
I'm thinking if there is something about knowing people's intents or something.
Yeah, I don't think there is there? Not a specific skill, at least.
Or a situation roll.
Yeah, I would think a situation roll.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
just-
I would say that some knowledge in speech or something would. Yeah.
Okay. What I'm doing is starting to go berserk.
Yeah.
If you have any experience, if Waldheim or Valraven has any experience with that, they might get a roll.
How does he go berserk? How does he get himself into this mode?
If you've ever watched like a video of a big cat, he will concentrate on what his primary target is. He will basically block out everything else. He goes quiet.
And then he starts shaking his butt.
Like a cat.
If you want to what I pictured at Patrick, if you want to watch at some point on YouTube anything where a big cat in the zoo starts stalking somebody that's got too close, you know, a baby, a person, whatever, that's what I'm picturing. He will get very quiet. He will basically, everything else is shut out except his target. He will concentrate on that target, and at the end of 3 rounds, he will explode into action.
Right. So, yeah, roll a perception and just a normal DC 10.
Okay,
see
so
if
that's a
you-
6.
If you
I
understand
passed
what
by
he's doing.
6 because I have a +2 to perception.
All right. So you notice him. You have never seen him doing this before, but he seems to be quite angry at you, ready to do something he would
Vestine, what
probably
is the matter? Talk to me.
regret.
Okay, he will say nothing.
She kind of glances at Waldhelm.
Valheim stands up as well and stands next to you, and he looks at Vistain, like leaning forward a little bit, like, "What's wrong with you, man?" He says. "Shake out of it." And he puts his hand on his dagger. Oh, nice. So, what happens next? Should we leave it for a little while and see what the rest of the people do? Let's
That's
go.
perfectly fine. Up to you. As a
that's-
player, I don't really want to kill another player,
Right.
but as my character,
So
And,
let's go back to Grell, Jorin, and Ricklig. What are you guys doing as this is happening?
Is this after the orb exploded?
Yeah, the bead exploded in the fire.
I don't know if you want to, Patrick. Joran might get a roll to realize he wasn't quite clear enough with me.
You can, I mean, Jorin, Greld, and Ricklig, as you are outside, you can see the little meadow where Valraven and the other guys are standing right now and what they're doing. You can't hear what they're saying, but you can see them clearly enough. The moon is quite strong out today.
Can we see them?
Yeah, you can see them like on the other side of some trees and bushes in a meadow.
How far away?
Maybe like 20 meters away.
What did you tell them?
As I move to my gear, I say, we all pledged on the orb to form the order. As I stood and we put our hands on the orb again, it was to recommit that pledge. You all did that. Valraven spat at the order and walked away. The whole time she's been questioning decisions that we had agreed upon, or made by me, you know.
We agreed upon it. Oh, well, me.
As you know, we agreed that I would be the leader. I've not steered any of us wrong. I may have made a decision that is questionable. We've all done that. We've all kept secrets from each other. But it's now at this time that we need to recommit everything. And while I'm talking to them, I'm pulling out my bow, grabbing an arrow. And I walk over to where I have a clean sight of Valraven, and I draw my bow. The orb has been broken. The covenant has been broken by one person. Stop me from loosing this arrow and ending her life, and I shall. Or commit to the order. We're not an order of death. We're not the order of the people slayers. We are the order of the Trolljeager. I need my friends by my side. Enemies closer. But when an enemy is within range, how do we handle it? And I look at Greld and I look at Lickling.
Did swear my oath to the order. And the order is all of us.
We can't hear you because you're over in the clearing.
What?
We can't hear you. You're over in the clearing.
Oh. Right. I thought you were talking to me. Sorry.
Well, I'm talking to these guys. Greld, what say you?
We never said that it would be a commitment for life and death. We never said what we never committed about what rules we was going to follow. Are you can't we just exclude her from the order? Exile her.
You were either with us or against us.
God damn you, you're...
Lick.
Veiled is grabbing his axe. I am the part of the order. God be damned.
He pauses and he says, look, we don't know if Dagger has been resurrected or not. We don't know. But based on what we do know of Valraven, I'm sure she did something.
So let me guard Dagger's body. Don't make me to kill Raven. If Dagger moves, I cut him down.
I don't want to kill anybody. We're the Order of the Trolljeager.
understand some of those words.
So how does Licklig react to all of this situation?
Like I said, I've known Joran's character on and off all my whole life. He's the leader. I also understand the Viking version of what you do when you've got the king or the leader. You trust him until the whole group's like, nope, we got to drown him. I know what he did. Do I agree with it? Internally, he's on the fence. I understand what he did, but he also spent our money. But he also was an honorable person, so most likely he'd make it back to us another way.
Right.
He found something. He saw something. You stick with the boss until it's obvious. That's
Right.
all. There he is.
But
Is he on the fence about the decision?
Right.
Do I voice it? I don't voice it. I've got my leader's back.
But does Licklig understand or agree with Valraven voicing his concern in the way that she's doing it? Like not being unhappy with Joram as a leader?
Yeah, what she did was she openly opposed him in public, which is a crime. It's almost a crime worth killing her for. But he hasn't said, let's go kill her.
Because you are all friends, and remember, you did spend more than 10 days on the farm together, so you know each other pretty well. And I would guess that you all know that Valraven would be easy to get grumpy sometimes if she is not agreeing with the situation. She would be grumpy for a few hours and keep out of the way, and then she would come back and everything would be fine. This happened a lot of times before in the farm as well.
I would agree with you, Patrick, except I have what in my less than intelligent mind, less than normal intelligence mind, is an order to kill her.
And I was
Unless
promised
Jordan-
by her that she was going to let him go. And it hasn't been proven that he's truly dead.
You have no reason to think that he's not dead because you saw him fall.
Patrick,
Mm-hmm.
She is so connected to this guy that she lied to us that he was undead.
But
She's
then
voiced that. She's
Right.
voiced that she can't let him go.
But at the same time, she
So
also
until I'm proven otherwise, I'm on the fence of that as well. Is he alive? Is he dead? He's undead.
So yeah,
Is he
definitely. I mean,
truly
she did
What is
lie.
he saying? We don't know.
Right, of course, she did lie during the time on the farm about her uncle.
She's
But she
gonna-
also came forward with the truth in the end, right?
Right, but in public, she's questioning me about the decisions I'm making when we don't know what decisions she made for the future of her uncle, which we were supposed to be a part of.
So by that logic, you could also turn it around and say the same thing about Joran and his choice to use the money that you all earned. And that, I guess, would be...
I mean,
I see that. That's why I talked to everybody about it.
Right.
And she openly spat at the whole thing. The whole, here's the deal, let's recommit. And she was like, and left.
Which is quite common for Valraven to do. It happened a few times before. So,
All right,
what happened next?
girl, get your ass over here.
Val's just gonna kind of sigh and then walk right past Vestine back towards the camp.
I will pivot and keep her in my sight.
I'll put your back to Valheim.
Valdham moves up behind Vistane and puts his arm around Vistane's shoulders and says, "Let's go and grab a drink."
Okay, Patrick. I am probably going to need a roll.
All right.
What do I roll against?
What do you want to roll for?
Psyche.
Normally, if someone attacks me when I'm trying to go berserk, there is a chance I'm going to go berserk.
It's not an attack, it's just a friendly arm around your shoulder.
Right.
So it's up to you to
I am
decide
in
if
the
you...
middle. of my decision is going to be to. It's probably going to take me a couple more rounds, but I'm going to try and calm down.
All right. So about the berserker gong, if somebody attacks you, you need to roll a psyche roll, right?
Yeah. I don't know about.
Yes.
That
And
seems
there's a value to roll under.
Right. It's a 6.
And-
It's not a good value.
Right. So if you don't roll under a 6, what will happen?
If I roll under a 6, I automatically go berserk. If I don't roll under a 6, the berserk gang is broken.
Right.
Okay, so that's a good thing, right?
So yeah, if you roll under a 6, you will go berserk, right? If you roll over a 6, you will not go berserk.
Right, but that's if I'm attacked. This is
Right.
not an attack. So
But you are kind of in a precarious situation. So I would say roll a psyche 6. Well, it's not a psyche. Just roll a 6 or under to go berserk, and 6 and over to not go berserk.
it was nice knowing you, Valraven. Oh, I fall over asleep. I rolled a 20.
I mean, Vistain noticeably relaxes his stance and looks to his left to look at Valhelm, and kind of release a big breath, and you start walking together, and he's just chatting with you, kind of friendly and relaxed on the way back to the camp, walking behind Valraven. So what about Valraven? What happens?
He's going to look at Yorin and say, some things need to change. If you want me to recommit myself, we should not do it on orbs that were pulled from the clutches of trolls. We should do it on something that actually has meaning.
It wasn't.
Yes, it was.
wasn't.
You found it when you killed the forest troll and the other
These are
troll.
two big orbs. And if we're Trolljeagers, then what? I mean, I was told that they were in a bag. That they
Yeah,
were
that was owned by trolls.
they were kept as treasure. Why would you keep the
By trolls, yeah.
By trolls.
Why would you keep the stuff
Trolls.
that's coming out of your
Troll treasure. Licklig, what do you want to say?
One. There's one orb. You gave the other orb to the other dwarves. There's only one.
No matter
Now
what it
it's
was,
no-
That was it.
no matter what
Yep,
it
yep.
was, no matter what it was, it is a representation of something much bigger. You know, like us coming together, and then honestly, it could be a stupid rock, which is pretty much what it is, but still it has some meaning because we've come together over it. We've gave one to the dwarves as a sign of our commitment to them. There's a shared relationship. I mean, the Declaration of Independence in America is merely just a piece of paper. But it has,
Val's going to pull out her Sayax. And then she's going to roll up her sleeve. He says, let us do this the Stormlander way. With blood.
Well, that is indeed a Stormlander way. Blood is a very important part of Stormlander's culture.
If I might have some saying in this,
my mind just went to a really, really dark place.
so we had two orbs. One that we swore of, and we gave it to the dwarves. The dwarves will see that as a sign. If we change something, we are obliged to send them a message about that. It's very important. But I see that if this is going to take serious, I guess that it's your Stormlander way. What we need is a hard set of rules. What are we allowed to do? Are we free people, or are we just in the order? Are we even allowed to travel away? if you're going to take it this hard,
Yes,
what are
we
we
should
allowed to
have
do?
a code of laws.
Thank you.
This is so pointless. This is so pointless.
No,
We
Listen
are
to-
all. What is inherent? What is inherent in an oath to another person? Communication, respect.
communication.
Have
But
we shown any of that to each other? Have we shown any
You
of
not
that?
show us respect
I
when you
respected
made a
everybody.
decision with our earnings.
so Grilled
That's
is now
communication.
Yeah.
That's communication.
Grilled
did not
is now
communicate
taking
prior.
out the book where he wrote down the order, and he is saying, "I'm trying to get down who we are, and I want to have communication, but we need to know what is allowed."
You're trying to write a history that hasn't been written yet. Focus on the here and now.
I am. What I see is that we almost kill each other. I have been afraid of that since, sorry to say, but that damn undead uncle. I have been afraid that Vestine will kill Valraven about it, and I have been afraid of us killing each other. And I need to
You will
know.
not kill me over that.
Oh, we'll definitely kill you over your uncle. Because if you've raised him again, you will die. 'Cause
This is why we
that's
need
bringing a
code.
personal promise to us that you were going to let him go.
And I will. He will go.
Raven?
Tell me right now, with a slit of your wrist to seal this in blood, that he is truly dead, that he's not resurrected.
He is dead. He is where we will one day follow.
So we are committed.
Valraven?
Sorry.
Valraven, I will tell you that if the messenger of the gods orders me, I will.
Messenger of the gods, he does not follow your gods.
Yeah, as a Stormlander, you would not have any like relation with the elven gods at
Yeah,
all.
he's going off the mythology that he believes.
I'm going off of the mythology of what is said in the rule book is that the common belief is that
Yeah, there are nature spirits that are kind of
well, no, the one I'm getting to, the one I read is that there are tales and legends that ascribe the high elves, the whatever they are, I can't remember, are messengers of the gods. I don't know. I remember reading that, and I remember reading that in Trudvang.
Okay.
So read the little story that I have for my meeting with him.
I mean,
He is not.
The Stormlanders are very superstitious people, so like if you met Jorim in that way, you would probably think him being a being of
And
the
like I
mist.
said, yeah,
But
and he just walked up in the fog. It was a foggy day. I see what I think is an elf. He's a half elf. Never met one of either, but so he has a little elven signs. So in my mind, I have created that the fog was glowing when he came. It wasn't. And so my view of him
Val's going to
is
say
a-
best. She's
Right.
just say,
right.
say, I have action. So you rather believe that he is a messenger of the gods, and not one who has yelled with the thunder of the gods, and brought that thunder behind your weapons.
During this time, I will go grab the coins that Vestine is throwing on the ground.
Oh, Waldemar already grabbed those.
Oh, did he? All
Yeah.
I'll say, oh, Valhelm's already got them.
so
I'll look at Valraven, and I will say,
I have given much to the gods. Look
Do-
at my eyes, the back of my head. And now I have cut myself for us, not just for you. blood dripping everywhere.
Also,
I will look like a little confused, and I'm having to think about what he has said.
Sacrifice and blood oath are quite common in Stormlands. So if you lived in the Stormlands, you would have done this before. You would have sacrificed animals, even thralls maybe. To sign an oath in blood is very common. And also for the dwarves, the blood is very important. The blood of the brothers, and maybe not the blood itself, blood dripping, but the connection in blood kinship is very much connected with blood. The elves are different, of course, but since Jorin lived in the Stormlands, this would also be the way of his father.
So I'm reaching up my arm and give me the dagger.
Val kind of flips it around so that the raven head of the handle is facing out and hands it to the dwarf.
I have already sworn my oath for this order, but if blood is what you want, then I guess the blood it is.
He needs to get an extra point for the owl. He needs to get the extra point for the owl. Thunk owl. That's beautiful.
So,
yes, it's very good. I will hold my arm out in the direction of Yoren. You can't see it on my monitor. And just, I will also keep looking at Valraven.
See, he wishes to renew our oaths in this proper way. The old Trolljeager order is gone, and we are forging anew with blood, as is proper.
Do you take the dagger, Stain?
No. I hold my arm out. I don't take the dagger. I basically keep one hand on my hammer, and I will hold my other arm out in the direction of Yoren.
I'll take the dagger.
Mm-hmm.
I will hold it, and I will look at it. I will slit the wrist. I'll put my hand on her shoulder, and as the blood drips down, I bury the dagger in her chest.
In my chest?
I go,
Ow!
seal it in this blood.
Wow.
Okay. And that's where we finished today.
Okay.
For role-playing purposes,
Ow!
I love that.
Hmm.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't find it.
What does the other traitor do?
Give me a sec, real quick.
Nothing.
Give me a second, real quick.
Yeah. All right. So, yeah.
Grace, I actually think that move was a surprise for all of us.
Oh.
Wow. Oh shit.
Ow!
Good fucking drama. I love it.
Oh.
I was working so hard not to kill you.
There's so much drama in this group, honestly.
Yeah.
But I wrote her down. It's
All right, guys. So yeah, let's leave it at that. We've been going for 4 hours almost.
Yeah.
That's a long session today. I hope everything worked out with the time zones and stuff today, right? It was time was
we're
proper,
good.
right?
We're back on track.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it should be fine in the future. So what did you think so far? What's your how do you feel being back?
Good.
I think
It's great to be back. I just think we all need to chat after you end the stream. So
Yeah, definitely.
that's all. That's all.
I'm okay with that.
Right.
Oh, are you still? This is actually a game mechanics question. Are
Mhm.
you still going to wait till the end of the adventure to give us experience, or how are you planning to do that?
I'm gonna go by feel a little bit, but I think we should wait and not do it every time because that will not be worth anything. You know, like it will not be anything special. So probably if I need to put like like cut the adventure up a little bit, I will give you at each part of the adventure pretty much. But the first adventure is gonna be you traveling to the thing. So when you arrive at the thing, I will give you some XP.
Okay. I was just kind of curious on how that was going to work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm trying to figure it out still, but that's my idea right now at least. So yeah, the convictions RP paper, just keep that at hand so you can look at it and try to figure out if you're following it and stuff, and that would gonna be fine. And if you have any feedback or anything, or like, did it feel good? Like, I was trying to get the NPCs to be a little bit more alive and stuff, but what do you think?
No, that's good. Yeah, you would fulfilled your promise of getting NPCs more involved in our connections with them. So I think just the whole interplay with Magne Bite's sons, and then Galskid, who you probably did not plan.
No.
So, you know, which is so you rolled with that very well.
Actually, now since you've done the first part of the adventure, the second group got a little bit further than you. They managed to reach Yuka's Hearth, but other than that, you could maybe look at their.
They're probably not role playing as much.
No, in other ways. But you can look at their stream. I have it on YouTube for the last one, and it's quite fun how they solved all the problems that you faced as well, like the sacrifice thing. The one that got knowledge about the sacrifice thing in that group was Loke, his character, and he's from Viran. He's a Viran. He's from Westmark, so that's a totally strange culture to him, right? And it was really funny how he tried to solve this problem too, because they also want to save the thralls, of course. And he found a way to get him to agree to sacrifice an animal instead, actually, in the end. It was quite interesting. But I love that. I love the reveal when you guys finally realizes what it's about. I'm always waiting for that. You know, it's so much fun. Because that's also something I felt like I didn't really portray properly in the very straightforward first game. How this land actually is, how brutal this culture is, and the sacrifices and the way of the warrior. I think that's very important to get through because the setting is everything in this game, right? So
Yeah.
I hope that helps.
Can I make a quick point?
Yeah, of course.
It'll be totally point. Okay, so have you guys ever heard of Legends of Five Rings, the game, the RPG?
Yeah, I think so. Never played it.
It's Japanese, Chinese based. It's heavy Japanese, but it's got Korea and China in there.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody belongs to a clan. Everybody that plays is samurai. That doesn't mean you're a fighter. It just means you're samurai level, like a caste system. All right. So every clan has a particular personality. Now, every character can have their own, but if you are Unicorn Clan, or you're a Dragon Clan, or you're a Lion Clan, you have basic cultural norms within your clan. The game that I was in degraded so much because the crane kept asking the lion, "Why'd you do that?" And then somebody would ask the scorpion, "Why'd you do that?" He's a scorpion. That's what he does. He's a lion. That's what he does. If Vestine, who's got the IQ of Forrest Gump, wants to do something, why are you asking, why are you doing that, Vestine? He's Forrest Gump. That's what he does. Let people play their characters. There's no confusion here. Let them play them. And then it's done. Hey, we got a dwarf doing dwarf things. Why are you doing that? You're a dwarf. That's what dwarfs do. Play your characters and quit asking questions why people are doing stuff. Unless it's like, dude,
Totally against me.
why'd you put your finger up that troll's butt. That doesn't make sense to me. But you
That's
know,
a dwarf stuff.
Okay, Race.
yeah,
Did I
that's a dwarf
actually?
thing.
Did I actually do that? I didn't think I did.
No, you didn't. I'm just saying. I'm just.
Okay.
Giving an
There's
example.
so much stuff, and people ask, "Why'd you do that?" I my character, leave me alone. Just that's all. That's it. That's the only
You mean
thing.
that?
Yes.
You mean that I asked why? I don't. I think I was quite
No,
careful.
not you.
Oh,
No, not you. You as the GM asking, "Oh, is this a dwarven thing, or is this your motivation?" You as the GM, that's an outstanding thing to ask.
right.
But when other players are asking people, "Why did you do that?" That's their. Let them play their character. You let the GM handle it and sit back and enjoy the fun.
Right, but then another thing, then as the character, you could ask another character why they did something, right?
Yeah.
That's another
That's
thing,
a
of course.
completely different thing.
Sure. Oh, sure. Is that right?
Yeah.
I've never seen that done before. Is that something your people do? Oh, is this a dwarven thing? That's very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I just that's all. It just sometimes you start that going. He's Forrest Gump. He's going to do exactly what Vestine's going to do. Let Vestine do Vestine things. That's
So-
asking a tornado why it spins one way is silly. It's a
Right.
tornado.
So
That's all.
should we leave the stream
What you
for?
want to do, just
Yeah.
Let's leave the stream here, and we can have a conversation afterwards.
Bye bye.
So thank you, everybody.
Right.
And like always, please follow us and come on Discord if you want to join. We have 2 new groups coming up pretty soon. One of them led by Siggy here, Valraven. Is going to play actually the adventure that we just finished last time, the Taken by Trolls. So yeah, if you want to join one of the 2 new groups, please come on Discord and sign up, and we'll help you make a character and introduce you to the system and everything. It's down below here in this Twitch. If you want to look at the world, it's also down below here. Don't forget to follow, and if you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe to us, and also in the YouTube description you have all the links to everything. So please come and hang out with us. We have a lot of fun discussing the system and just being stupid. So until next time,
Oh my
bye.